Hello, everyone, and welcome again to the next episode of Casual Rage. It's been an interesting week for Star Wars. I actually wanted to talk about a few other bits and pieces of news that sort of came up throughout the week, but I got too caught up in this episode of The Mandalorian and I didn't really look into some of those things. So we might go back and have a quick look. But hello, everyone, and again, welcome and good morning or good evening. Depends on where you are. I always say it. I get sick of talking about like time zones. How are we doing tonight, fellas? Tim, how are we?
Doing great. Just finished the episode, I don't know, about an hour and a half ago. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then, yeah, there is some news that has come out. One of them really pisses me off. So, if we get a chance, I'll kind of share that if it's one you haven't heard about. So,
All right. Well, maybe when we we'll get through the episode and we'll
yeah.
have a look back on a few things because again, there has been a bit of stuff.
Yeah.
And Jeff, how are we this morning?
Doing pretty good, man. Doing good. Just finished the episode not too long ago. My review just went live for it, so definitely check that out, everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I kind of put some screenshots and stuff in it and made it a little bit longer and went through some different points. But yeah, I think you got something to share, Rhino.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say my review went out, but I'm kind of annoyed because I wanted to make it a little bit shorter. I was telling you guys backstage, but I wanted to make it a little bit shorter than my previous ones. And I kind of dropped the ball on a couple of the actual issues from the episode. A couple of the things that I kind of went back and I'm like, I could have maybe brought that up, or just stuff that I completely missed as well that are sort of relevant. So we'll get through those though in this because I've got 20, I can't remember, I counted them before, right? Like 28 tabs open. So,
Damn.
and the other thing too is I've got to change the strategy. I'll quickly say hello to the chat in a second. I got to change the strategy of my stream because my last stream got completely blocked worldwide because I played too much.
Yeah.
And yes, hi, Tuscan Bob. Thank you for making it.
Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Sorry, I thought it was 7:30, not 7:15.
You've been having some technical difficulty.
Oh, you should. It would have been great if I was on Discord with, and you could hear the epic gamer rage that I had.
Well, that's what happens when a Tuscan tries to use technology. So,
No kidding.
Holy moly!
Did you get your Tuscan Bob review out?
It is out. It is not on YouTube.
Okay.
It is going to be on Rumble.
Okay. Well, can you then share it at the end? Because we've got a tradition. We've got to get Tuscan Bob's review of this episode of The Mandalorian. All right. So yes, how are you going? Other than all of the dramas that you've been having?
It's good. This one took me a while to actually kind of get through and redo for the Tuscan Bob thing because there's a lot to unpack.
yeah.
And going through it a second time, like my first feelings is getting towards the end of the episode. It started off terrible. The episode started off terrible, in my opinion. Got better, got good, but then on the rewatch, starting to think about the things that I was seeing and the implications of it, it doesn't hold up at all.
No, I completely.
It's unfortunate.
I do agree. The action was fantastic. There was a couple of things that I really did notice. One of them was there was a couple of scenes where it did really look like there was just a screen in the background for me. Like the shots just didn't really look right.
And other stuff in the background as well. So,
Yeah, we'll get to that. I do want to say quick hi to the chat, but we will get to that. And of course, Blake comes in. There was you, Tim. Thank you for that.
yes.
Good morning, Rages. Get ready for this episode of Casual Rage. All right, Blake just wanted to drop his usual comment of tracking fobs. Thank you, Blake. And then he had a nice little chuckle about it afterwards. Good morning, everyone. Daniel, of course, we have in the chat as well. And yes, please rage and smash. Feel free to rage. Smash the like button.
Yeah.
Daniel, sorry, I went blank there for a second. My bad. Will. And Will's here. Sup, bitches? What's up? Hail, Daniel. All right. Let's get straight into this episode, shall we? Oh, no. The other thing that was in the background. What's this, Jeff?
It's Dave Filoni. It's got to be.
Yeah, I saw that on Twitter. Like, somebody had that already
thin.
up. Literally about a half an hour after the episode was done. Somebody had this on Twitter tonight. Immediately.
I think one of the crew ended up in the background of one of the shots here. That's funny as.
Yeah, and my issues aren't so much continuity things or things like that, but issues with the plot itself. I really wanted this one to be good because, like, this one was directed by
Carl
Weathers.
Really?
And and I thought overall the directing job was pretty good. I mean, especially those action sequences. That's, for somebody that's new to that film style, that had to have been quite a challenge because this has a lot of fast action with TIE fighter fights and all that stuff, speeder bikes, whatever the hell that vehicle was that they were using. So definitely it had to have been a challenge for him, and seeing stuff like that is like, oh man, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Okay. So, sorry, I just wanted to say another quick hello to Spog News Podcast and What About. Thank you for being here. And Jade Shadow, Mara, thank you for listening in. Let me know, Mara, if you want a link. You can come in and talk about this episode that I'm sure you haven't watched. All right, let's get straight into the first opening scene. So it basically opens up with Baby Yoda and Mando deciding where they're going to get repairs done and deciding to go back to what's the planet? Navarro. I keep blanking on it all the time. Every time I think about it.
Just think Jane's Addiction, Dave Navarro.
Navarro.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, cool.
That wouldn't help me.
Now, there was this scene, and I did mention it in my review, where it really did remind me of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep.
With Baby Groot and
Yeah, it's fucking
pushing the button. And, like, that was really... I like that scene in Guardians of the Galaxy too.
Yeah, me too.
But, yeah, what did you all think about that?
I thought it was fucking stupid.
Yay, cute wires. That's all
he's
it
trying.
was.
He's literally trying to get him to repair his ship for him. Trying to get him to plug different wires in. I'm like, do it yourself, dude. Don't be an asshole.
Well,
But
like,
still,
how
it
do you
just
communicate to the
fucking
guy?
stupid. It was stupid.
I mean, the kid wouldn't stop eating freaking eggs after you told him no.
How does he know how to
You
fix
expect him to, like, do wiring? This beginning part of the episode is really clunky, and it's really more so a failure of the previous episode to get him. Like, the end of the last episode should have had him already deciding to go to Navarro and get rid of, put that clunky dialogue at the end of the last episode. So then you let the audience know, hey, guess what? Next week we're going to Navarro. We're going to go see Cara Dune and Greef Kargan again. Having it at the beginning of this episode slowed the beginning of the episode down very much to its detriment. Like, and then of course, the Baby Yoda stuff is there just because pander,
Yeah.
I mean, I will say that there's a moment later in the episode that I actually, like, enjoyed Baby Yoda very, very briefly. But we'll get to that later.
Really?
A revelation.
It wasn't
That
awful.
shocks me.
A revelation.
It was.
Shock me. Sorry, it took me ages to get this up.
Yeah, Baby Yoda's an engineer.
That's what she said.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Baby Yoda's an engineer. That's right. So must be a mechanic.
Just like Alien.
Must be a pilot, just like an alien.
Yeah, but Greg, if they hadn't, had this scene and they'd done what you said and just resolved, where are we going to go in the last episode, they wouldn't have had the chance for this cute scene with Baby Yoda. So
You can do that kind of stuff,
but that's
without
all this
making it
was.
fucking
That's-
stupid. That's
point
the
is
problem.
that's all this was. I mean,
Yeah. You can do that kind of stuff, though, Baby Yoda, and not make it to the point where no character in their right mind would let this kid try to fix his ship with their help. Sorry.
Oh,
And to answer Daniel's question, no, he doesn't get injured. It was just a stupid throwaway scene. So.
No, think of it like almost like R2-D2 kind of thing. Like he gets shocked by, and then he's
R2-D2 knows what he's doing when it comes to repairs, though. That's the difference.
Right, but what I'm saying is it's basically like nothing really happened to him. He's fine, and then they go sit down and have a cup of soup or whatever.
Really quickly about the cup of soup, when he lifts his helmet up and you see his chin, do you guys think that was actually Pedro, or do you think it was actually a stunt double like I did?
Is that before the bit where he's looking through the hole?
Yeah, this is after this bit.
Yeah,
This
is after the shock.
Mm-hmm. After Baby Yoda gets tased.
Yeah.
Self-tased.
Yeah.
There it is. Yeah. Self-tased.
That wasn't Pedro. Come on.
There's no way. The chin was just no way.
I didn't really notice, to be honest.
Yeah, you can see his chin when he lifts up his helmet to drink the soup.
How's that coming through on your screen? Is that all right, or is that really dark?
No, it looks good. It's fine.
Okay.
It was shot dark though.
It was for me, it was just a bit of filler at the beginning that was like, it was all right.
Hold up, is that the shitter straight in the back there? Like right behind him?
Yeah.
Right? Is that the shitter?
Yeah.
Got to get it in the shot, right? I guess. Is that a?
It just seems so obvious what they're going for. You know what I mean? Like the cuteness and again, I honestly think that Baby Yoda is out of the series by the end of this season. I don't know. Next episode, maybe the episode after, or maybe by the end of the. I don't know, because now Moff Gideon needs more blood for Force blood, so we'll get to that. See, that's another thing that I didn't mention in my review that I'm like, hang on a second. Like Force blood, let's talk about that. Anyway, all right, let's move on. So after this opening scene, of course, you get the flash up of Mandalorian and the chapter is chapter 12, and it's called The Siege.
Mm-hmm.
We then cut to basically it was the cave where the Mandalorian mechanic armorer was working, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it was definitely that room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
And these guys are basically just thieves that have, stolen stuff off the villagers that live above, right?
Ponda Baba.
That's what it seemed like to me. And
Aqualish, I think, is the name of their species.
Aqualish, yeah.
Aqualish, yeah. Mm-hmm. They look off too. They look like a mix of the Crypt Keeper and Pondo Baba.
Yeah,
it's really weird.
What did everybody think about this fight scene?
Oh, I thought it was really good done. Really well done.
Here's what I'm going to say again. Like, you go in hand to hand when you have a blaster because she uses it at the end. I'm not going to say the fight scenes weren't well done and cool, but they could have had a line like, "Oh yeah, that was good practice." That's explaining why did she go hand to hand when she had a blaster, probably more than one blaster. Just like in the last episode, it's like, why fight hand to hand?
It's to show off her.
Yeah. Exactly. But in the story, she could have said, "Oh yeah, I needed that practice," or something, instead of just, "I made a stupid decision fighting 6 or 7 thugs when I could have just gone pow 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 pow." That's kind of dumb. So, and I'll bring it up again in my video this weekend. Mm-hmm. But other than that, the action looked great. Yeah.
I like how she used one of them as a human shield.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen that in action movies, I think, though.
So she's shining in this episode, bad thing, for sure.
But, yeah.
She did. She shined in this episode quite a bit.
I think so. I think she did really well in this episode. And that's another thing that I didn't really mention in my review. Like, it was good. It was good seeing her in action again, and I think she did a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
Greg, any thoughts on this specific scene?
Well, I'm going to disagree on how well she did. I think she did all right for what she was given, but there's some moments coming up that are just like, was there supposed to be a line of dialogue there or not? And then The scene with the TIE fighter pilot guy at the end was cringe as fuck.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
There were some clunky moments that involved her. I'm not going to pin it on her acting ability, more so just kind of clunky script. But this scene was basically kind of a waste of time. It was just to establish that she's now just a sheriff. I mean, you could have just done that in a line of dialogue or something.
Which they did anyway. When he gets off the ship and he walks up to them, he calls her the marshal. Grief Karga calls her the marshal, and that would have established it.
It didn't really like. These are no-name thugs doing no-name shit, petty crime or whatever. It really didn't advance any plot or anything. It was just.
It was to give her a pet.
There it is, and there's a cute animal in the scene.
It was to give her a pet.
This is where it comes up.
She has a pet rodent too.
I got even that wrong. This is where the actual comes up. That's the opening.
Title card.
That's where it comes up.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I even said in my review that it came up after this bit.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
You're right, yeah.
Blake.
Just the title of the episode, by the way, it's Siege. They don't know what a siege is.
No.
It's not a well-named...
They've never done any wargaming or anything like that. It's obvious.
They didn't siege anything.
See Blake's comment.
Which one? This one.
He says, I wouldn't mind seeing her sheriff's badge.
Me either. It's hot as hell.
Good job. Yeah. Agreed.
Waste of time. Nah. Well,
but here's the thing. Like, sorry, Rhino. One thing. One of you guys said this is exactly what would happen, and I'm not saying you're a genius for predicting that, but how paint by the numbers is the whole season when you knew this is exactly what he'd do? Like, go here for repairs and meet up with his old friends, you know?
Yeah, and then basically have time to go off and do another mission while the repairs are being done.
Yes, someone called that out too. It's like, hey, we'll help you repair your ship, but...
Yeah. Well, see, this is the thing, like, in regards to this comment about it being, the whole setup's being a waste of time. Well, that's another argument that I think Tom has made in regards to, the previous episodes, even though they were filler episodes, by the end of the season, they might have a payoff.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Okay, so basically now we established that the place, the village, the town, is there a name for it? It's just the town of Navarro.
Not
anyway.
precisely.
No. Yeah, that's it. That's the other thing. Is now like a nice village as opposed to like him running bounties and stuff like that. Is that what it seemed like to you? Like he's no longer doing bounties? Or he's still doing those on the side?
He's now Lando Calrissian in Cloud City.
Yeah. But it's more like
now is literally fucking Lando Calrissian.
It's more like a benevolent black market crime boss type thing. That's what I got out of it.
Well,
he's
an administrator of the city. Stays away from the Empire. Doesn't really pick sides. Just it's a disappointing turn for his character. To be honest, I was expecting a little bit more. Like, did he just give up the whole? He was like the lead in the entire bounty hunting guild. Did he just give that up?
Yeah, and he made a lot of money from it.
But one thing on this scene in particular that I wanted to point out, I took a note here, is that stupid line, wherever I go, he goes. And how many times have we proven that?
I bring that up in my review.
My buddy.
Yeah, in Green Zone, I have a note on that when we get to it too. So
yeah.
So would you rather leave him with somebody and he dies here, or would you rather have him with you and have him die with you?
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Oh my God.
Okay.
By the way, don't you think one of these kids would have seen him use the fucking
I just had to highlight it because I thought the same thing, and then I knew as soon as I highlighted it, everyone was going to go, yeah, the green zone. Like
safe zone. Yeah, safe zone, green zone. It's Chaz.
Okay, so basically, Grief Karga takes Baby Yoda to the school and sits Baby Yoda down. And what did everybody think about this? Like they're using the Force again.
Pointless.
What the fuck is this kid supposed to learn from a droid with kids like that are obviously more developed mentally, I guess, than him? Like he's literally just there to be babysat, and yeah, why? Again, leave him again.
Yeah, again.
Yeah, well, again, I
Again.
made the point. Again, I made the point in my review that every time Baby Yoda is out of the story, we get some actual movement and some development within the story that's being created. And when Baby Yoda comes in, it's like, what are we doing? That's how it's felt anyway.
Well, I mean, we did get a little bit of story about why Moff Gideon now wants him, so at least we got something
Yeah,
to advance that plot with Baby Yoda. So,
and we'll get to that too.
We pretty much knew that, though, right? Just
suspected, but at least it's nice to like, okay, this is officially what he is, and yeah, now he's using Force cookie steel.
I was hoping
And nobody
that kid was
saw
gonna
that.
punch him, by the way.
Nobody saw that he used Force cookie steel.
Yeah, no, I know.
Nobody
He's
said,
sitting in
"Hey, what the
middle of
fuck's he
class.
doing?
He's
He's
sitting in the
using
middle of
magic or something."
Yeah.
Jesus.
And
Christ.
nobody saw it sort of move across. It was that quick as well. It's
Because
like
it was
faster
another cutesy Baby Yoda moment they had to get across.
he can force
all it was.
pull faster than a speeding bullet. He's the Superman of force abilities. But yeah,
Hey, Steve. Yeah,
Stig-
it's just
Well, now
take the kid with you. You were charged to take him. He's your foundling. You're supposed to return him to his people. You keep leaving him with everybody else. It's really, really pissing me off.
It's like
why
he's
didn't
saying that
kid
line.
beat the shit out of him too. Like that kid right there. Like he's
That's
like,
what I
"Oh,
said.
You
I
stole
wish
my
he would've-
cookies."
Yeah.
I wanted
guess
him
that's
to
okay.
force choke the little bastard and didn't just take the cookies.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted him just force choking.
that's right, Stig.
Like, oh, I guess you have my cookies now. Oh well.
But it's like he says that line, "Wherever I go, he goes," just to like convince himself.
Wherever I go,
Well,
wish.
it's okay if I don't this time, you know.
my buddy and me.
Yeah, I keep as soon as he says that line, I have that stupid commercial in my head.
I know,
with
me too.
the fucking my buddy.
Wherever I go, he goes. Yeah, that little bastard who wouldn't share his cookies.
punch
I wanted
it.
him to get force choked.
Look at that cute face.
Yeah, he should have just
All right.
punched the fucking thing. Like, you fucking rodent, give me my cookies back.
Yeah.
So
I'd rather
after
see him force choke that kid.
I didn't really like the thing for me with Baby Yoda is just I don't like now it seems like it's really using it knowing what it's doing. You know, whereas a bit before
yeah.
it was sort of like it was a bit like I don't really know what I'm doing, but like
Right.
clearly there it was like, you know, even when he choked Gina Carano, choked a bitch. No, I can't say that about Gina. I'm sorry, Gina. But yeah, even when he used that, I think it was a bit of an instinct thing. Whereas this, he's sitting there and he knew what he was doing. But I still don't like the whole idea of Baby Yoda using force abilities without us sort of knowing. Because okay,
Well, I mean, advance. I could buy him honestly using very simple force pull, but to like lift a gigantic multi-ton rhino beast, whatever, that's a little far fetched. Force heals, force fetched. Deflecting a flamethrower is far fetched. I can't buy any of that. I can buy, grabbing cookies from a few feet away.
Yeah.
I mean-
because if you're hungry, it's like an instinctive nature, right?
Well, I mean, I think force pull is probably the most basic and instinctual force ability that doesn't require necessarily a huge ton of concentration. Force, concentrate on the object you want,
Yeah.
picture it coming to you. I mean, it wouldn't require a whole lot of meditation or instruction to be able to do.
I don't think I've ever seen a
can buy it.
character. I don't think I've ever seen a character eat as much on screen as I've seen Baby Yoda eat in anything
kidding.
ever.
No kidding.
Well, I mean, they're pandering to the Baby Yoda crowd. I mean, there's
I
no.
know.
I mean, that's
Oh,
just
but
what they're doing.
in every episode, he's eating something,
It's
eating,
cute.
more eating.
It's cute. What else are you really going to have him do?
All right, let's move on from this part because I'm sick of talking about Baby Yoda. I like it
Well, I mean,
again.
he'll come back later, but
Yeah, he will. I didn't really like. Again, I'm not too fond of the whole Force abilities. That's my whole thing. Yeah, okay, you can have your cuteness and everything, but if that's what Star Wars is coming down to now, cuteness, well, I want something more than that. So anyway, they go off to talk about what's next or what we're coming up to. So this character's come back to life. I'm curious. Like, they explain in this scene how he came to be working for Grief Karga, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I didn't understand is when he was captured as a bounty in episode 1 of the very first season, was he a bounty for Grief Karga or was he a bounty for a different client?
I think it's a third party, then he got away, and then he got captured again, and
Yes.
then now he's working... Like, I think... I got the impression that Grief paid off his debt, and now he owes Grief.
Yeah, okay.
So he's now an indentured servant, basically.
Yeah. What's up, Subhuman? Thanks for coming by.
Which is just not much above slave.
Right.
Yeah.
As far as morality goes, barely.
So he as he sees Mando, he like sprays some sort of ink thing out.
It's just steam, I think.
Is it? Yeah.
I
Okay.
think it's just steam because he's got that. I guess they established later that his vest is a moisture vest because he's a fish person.
At least
right.
it's not.
Super
At
weird.
least it's not what the guy from Orville does. That's also blue. So
Oh, God.
I haven't seen that.
No
Blue
kidding.
Scooge.
All right, so let's just move straight into it because they basically get to. I went too far in showing this.
Quest update.
The green zone. Okay, so they establish like his here. He goes, "I'm here to just get my repairs done," and Grief Karga goes,
Pretty
"Well,
please.
it's gonna
And he's like,
it's
okay.
gonna take some time."
Yeah,
and we
you
could
got
really
time to kill.
and we could really use your help. When that bit happened, I was like, we've just been talking about this. It's like, I'll help you if you help me. I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine.
you can almost
Like-
see the
For a little
options. The options for the role playing game pop up. Like, I'm not going to help you. I mean, oh
Yeah, we-
god.
You just
maybe.
kill them both. That'd be
I
my
will-
option. I'm sorry. It'd be kill
I
all
will
three
say
of them and
this,
just
though.
walk out the door.
At least it's a voluntary. Like they're pleading for his help, and he's like okay with it. It's not 100% transactional. Like they were gonna fix his ship beforehand, so it's not quite as terrible as previous episodes, but pretty close.
Yeah.
It's still almost transactional, almost quid pro quo. It's almost an even swap. I guess you could say that Grief knew that he could recruit the Mandalorian to do this mission, if he agreed to fix his ship. It was just like they weren't so upfront about it being a transaction right away.
Yeah.
Small difference, but it's something.
Well, they didn't. Like, I thought they'd sort of established that he was, like, just getting his ship repaired. He was already getting it done. It's not like he needed to make this deal to get, they were already going, yes, sweet, you helped me out already to get this place back from the Empire, or the remnants of the Empire. So now I'm going to fix your ship, no problem.
Well, I think what I would prefer to have seen in this scene was something more along the lines of like,
Thanks for coming by, Spool.
Mando, while your ship's being repaired, let me show you something. You tell me what you think about it. And we think it's an Imperial base that's still operational. And then Mando's like, oh my god, they know about Baby Yoda and everything. It must be Moff Gideon's guys that are remnants left over. We need to take them out. Where he proposes the idea.
He has an
Versus-
incentive to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, like he has. Yeah, he has an incentive to go after these guys. These are people that killed all of his kin. Basically, remember that pile
Yeah.
of armor?
Yeah, but
Like
He
he has a
doesn't-
motivation, vengeance, or a number of things that would make him want to do it without it being so transactional.
Yeah, and they didn't even think of that. It's pretty clear,
I don't, because at this point in time, they still think that they've killed Moff Gideon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They think that there's a couple of still small patrols going through this base because it's still there. And I don't really understand why they haven't left or whatever, but if that is the case. That's clearly not the case, which we'll get to in a second. But and it just comes down to the fact in the end that, well, Grief Karga just doesn't want them there. So we're going to go and take out this base.
Well, I mean, they're Imperials. They're not well liked or anything.
No.
It's good to get rid of them. I think this whole thing blows up later when they realize that Moff Gideon is not, in fact, dead, which is something we, the audience, already knew because we saw him get out of that impossible crash in Chapter 8. But, I think the fact that Moff Gideon, had all these troops and all those resources there and why didn't he use them to go back after these two and wipe them out? Moff Gideon is supposed to be the sinister Empire guy, right? And why leave this town to thrive and flourish?
It's interesting. I didn't even think about that.
Well,
Yeah,
that's the whole point of the green zone, guys.
Stuff to do.
What
But see,
makes
Moff
it a green zone?
Moff Gideon's not even there. Well, as far as we know, he could be orbiting this planet, but
He's
I'm
looking
sure if
for
he was,
the Mandalorian. He's not worrying about this fucking planet.
yeah. Which
But
actually
we
is
find out later
established.
they clearly know that they're there because the sabotage. Or the
Yeah,
tracker
which we'll
that
get,
they
which
put
we'll
on later.
get to. I actually skipped.
Which again
a
blows this
from
thing
that.
up even worse. I mean, that's why this episode really falls apart late.
But why is this a green zone? To your point, my first question was, why didn't they just smash it? Is there a shield? No, the hell no, there's not a shield over that big of an area.
But yeah, that's huge.
That they have access to anyway. So
That's-
what
and
makes
they-
it a green zone, and why wouldn't they just flat? They have TIE fighters. They could strafe that city,
At least
and
4 of them.
reduce it to
Yeah.
rubble.
Exactly.
So
Which is, as soon as I found out when they showed that shot of the TIE fighters lifting off, I'm like, holy shit, they got all these speeder bikes, all these troopers, fucking at least 4 TIE fighters. We saw 4.
Transports.
We don't know how many more. They have transports. Why didn't they go wipe out this town?
Because they
Yeah.
don't care about the town
Obliterate.
anymore.
Yeah, but leave it
Why should they care about this town now?
right.
They're not
because
causing any
they're
problems.
operating a research base on the same planet. Get rid of it. And plus, these guys know where Mando is.
Yep, and then that's probably why they haven't done anything, because they want him to come back there, and if he's to figure out where he's going, or they know he's coming back here eventually. So why not just wait until he comes back?
Or smash the town and capture him when he comes back anyway.
Yeah.
He's not going to
guess-
come back in there if he's not going to get any response. He probably got a hold of Grief Karga or Cara Dune, and is like, hey, I'm coming in there. If he can't get a hold of them, or he figures out something's going on, he's not going to go there.
It's not what
Right?
they showed.
Okay.
He knew that he had friends there and landed there. If I were Moff Gideon, I wouldn't have let these two go. Because remember, at the end of Chapter 8, there's there's no more of them. That's it. I mean, that's what Grief Karga says, right? Oh, no, they operate this huge base with a ton of troops and all these resources. They literally let Mando leave the planet and then don't... none of these people suffer repercussions. That's very un-Empire-like behavior.
Very true.
But
Especially-
it's not the
especially due to the
Empire
fact
anymore.
that
It's a
Moff
small
Gideon
pocket
survived.
of Imperial troops.
But they're
not-
have
they're all
they have
spread out.
imperial ideals, and beliefs. I mean,
Yep, and they're
Along with the
trying to
Empire?
keep this research base safe on the planet, so they're not going to take
Well-
their garrisons, their troops
Well, it
out
is-
of that research facility when they want to keep it safe. And
But
guard it.
here's
It's
the
a
thing.
secret research facility.
but then
Secret
why
research.
leave?
Nobody knows it's there. I mean, they know it's there. But they don't know what's going on. They just think it's
Yeah.
an Imperial base.
But here's the thing, we're all talking about this and we're, coming up with explanations for it. They could have done that in the episode, in a very short episode again. If you take out all the stupid credits,
That was
very
another
short.
thing.
So spend
then-
45 seconds on some dialogue saying, all right, here's why they probably haven't attacked us, but nothing. It's it leaves us to sit here and come up with all these rationalizations. It's just sloppy storytelling.
Well,
Yeah,
then again,
I agree to a point, but to another point, it's a little bit too deep in the nitpicking with this. Just a little bit. It's something you can get past. Not all of it has to be explained. And of course, we find out it's a research facility. They don't know that. They think it's just an old Imperial base. Of course, they're going to keep their troops and everything there to protect it and not worry about this fucking town because they're waiting for the Mandalorian to come back. Mm-hmm. If he comes back. They don't even know if he's coming back. Moff Gideon's gone. He's trying to figure out where the Mandalorian is. He's taking care of his other stuff. He's not
why
worried
continue to
about
operate the base at all then?
because it's a research facility. It's just they're doing research there.
You could do
They're going to
research
pick up and
anywhere.
move it. They're just going to pick it up and move it.
You don't need to. You don't need to move it. You just transfer the files over, and like they hardly showed any research being done other than that one laboratory, and it's like
Yeah, a
that's
bunch
not
of back
very
tanks
big.
full of failed experiments, so they're going to move all that stuff too.
Rather than risk being exposed on a planet that is growing less and less sympathetic to, and you have less and less control over. Yeah, I mean that kind of just basic tactics.
Okay.
Moving right along. So they basically pull up to this the edge of the green zone, right where the red zone is. Because I don't know if you saw in that previous picture. If we go back to, no, I think I've gone too far. I have.
Yeah, the base is completely on
Federation
the other
has
side
got
of
to
the
keep
planet.
off.
It is
on the
a
south end of the
tiny. It
planet.
is a tiny strip, like right there, and like this whole. Anyway,
You can even see the
It's on.
canyons,
Yeah, no,
but-
no, it's actually on the other side of the planet. The thing actually rotates. It's on the other side of the planet.
oh right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, no, it does in the
It
episode. It
creates
actually
problems
does. It's because
in the
it's
story
So
later.
completely on the other side of the planet. Yeah.
it actually does create problems later because yeah, I didn't even think about that. Oh my god,
Jetpacked halfway around the world
jetpacked
in a
halfway
couple
around the
seconds.
actual planet,
That's a lot of fuel in that little pack. It must be
and
some
then he
kind
got
of
and then he
great fuel
flew his
economy.
fusion
ship.
reaction. or
Yeah,
something.
wow, I didn't even think about that.
And
Okay,
makes
let's
it
just-
back with this other ship.
Yeah,
in,
that's
like,
right.
No time flat.
It's pretty good. All right, so this bit, so they pull up to the Imperial base.
And that's the correct term. Pull up. Just park and there's no opposition. It's like
Yeah, there's door
No
downstairs.
security. There's no cameras.
there's
nothing.
that up there. You know,
Yeah.
they could pick them off, and there were stormtroopers. Did they not just hear like a land
There's like
speeder?
2 or 3 stormtroopers up there. Yeah.
I mean,
At least I think it showed a few more because I, mean,
I think
the
it
one
was
got
like 2
thrown
or
down.
3 laid on
Well-
the ground when he got up. When they got up there, it was like 2 or 3. It wasn't a
And
whole
then
lot.
the one
Mando
he threw
jet-
down, that's 4. I mean, like they didn't see him coming in the land speeder. They didn't hear him.
oh, I know. I
Yeah.
can't hear a thing in this helmet. That's it.
Yeah, but Mando jetpacks up there, and as soon as he did that, I'm like, all right, here comes the body.
Yeah,
And like,
Yeah.
not long after that, doof, the body hits the ground.
we have a new trope, like a body hitting the ground.
I just found it so, what's the word? Like typical. Like I was actually ready for everything that was sort of going on. Other than the tanks, which we'll get to shortly. So he
Blake.
comes back down. Oh no, he goes up. He's trying to break in.
with a torch. Like, you know,
He even
Yeah.
tells
that
him like
must have
this tool
been
isn't
video,
made
but-
for this.
Yeah,
He's
but so
like, it's
like they
basically
said,
For
Fucking
fixing
plumbing.
toilets.
they
Yeah.
said that like it melted, and one of Gina Carano's like terrible lines in this thing, and again, she didn't write the script, but she says like trash Imperials or Imperials are trash or something like that, and the controls are melted because they built controls on the outside in a valley that gets flooded
Lava
by
flow.
lava.
Yeah.
like good design, guys, and like nobody uses that door, nobody fixes it, nobody does anything. They're just like, fuck it, leave it broke, it's just gonna break again. And then so he fixes a melted console with a blowtorch. how's that gonna work? It's just
He
to
tells
buy
him
time
it's not
so
going
Mando
to.
can kill the body. It's just
I
to
don't
buy time.
understand why, like, surely Grief Karga's got a droid or something that he could bring with him to try
Yeah.
and hack into these things.
Well, he's the slicer on this operation, so
Yeah, he's a
No,
slicer.
I understand that, but even still, wouldn't you take a droid with you? I just
well,
cause
has
Has a
something.
droid.
I'm sorry. That's one thing that this series has actually lacked, and it takes away from the whole experience of the Star Wars universe. Is droids.
Yeah.
You don't see too many of them. I mean, you know, we had in season 1 we had IG-11, right, and we had the droid that was on the ship, like on the boat at the end of season 1. But that's really it. No translator droids because they don't need them. They can speak
that
Tusken.
one assassin droid from the prison rescue episode.
Yeah, but even he got destroyed.
Yeah. There's no friendly droids, I guess, unless you want to count IG-11 at the end. But
Well,
I don't
and the
know.
school teacher, maybe.
yeah, oh yeah, for one scene.
Anyway, he's basically the slicer. So, actually, no, I jumped too far forward. This
If they're
is
not going to
where
use droids like that, they need an explanation of why droids or, like R2 units or something, the slicing droids aren't available during this time. Like maybe the Empire confiscated all of them or something like that. At least give us something.
Yeah.
I
They
went
just
way
want
too
more
far forward.
characters instead of droids, I'm guessing. But still, it takes away from, like you said, Rhino, the whole Star Wars universe.
Oh, and another thing that pulls me out of it is the music. I'm so like one thing that I've actually really started to notice since that very first episode where the ship's sort of flying across, or is it the second episode? It's one of them.
It was the first in Tatooine.
It was the first,
bad.
yeah. And that music was just horrible. And ever since
bad.
then, I haven't been able to not pay attention to the music. And not that you really want to not pay attention to the music in something like this, but you kind of do want to not pay attention to it because it's so bad. It's
I actually
actually
thought this one
like,
was the best of the season. The music.
there was like when the action
it didn't
started
stand
picking
out.
up. When the action started picking up, but again, at the beginning of the episode, it was a bit like, I don't know, cartoony in a way, I suppose.
It didn't stick out like that first episode. Well, even the second episode on that shitty ice planet really stuck out,
At least
too.
they didn't have any slide rule knives.
Oh, God.
I'm going to be honest, I did not notice the music, so when I do my video, I'll pay more attention and give you
I
my
didn't
Honestly-
thoughts.
notice it either, so it didn't stand out to me as something.
It didn't stand out to
egregiously
be bad or, like, super amazing. It was, but still was better than the last few episodes
It was
of the
just
season.
there.
I reckon you might be right, but it's something that's just been sort of standing out to me is it might be okay, but it's not really too Star Warsy either. Like,
The first season was way better.
good Tim, when you get a chance, go back and watch just the beginning of episode 1 again when he's flying into Tatooine and listen to the actual music. Just pay attention to the music.
Oh, I remember that. I remember
awful.
Oh,
that.
you do remember
so
that.
bad.
That was
That
bad.
was terrible.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was forgettable.
I just want to say, with this scene here, this was one of the scenes where it made me look. I looked at the background and I was like, man, that really looks like just a screen. I don't
Yeah.
know. I might need to play it.
Oh, careful.
Don't
That
play.
didn't bother me near as much as the fish guy going, "Hey, look, there's a vehicle we might need later."
I know well, we've already seen the trailer. We already know they fucking
Oh,
used
and they
it. I
even
brought
said
that
it's
up in
going
my
to go
review,
up with
too.
the rest of the base.
Yeah,
You
we
know,
don't need
like-
it. He's like, oh, what a waste.
No, he
Like, that's what he said,
literally
yeah.
points to this thing. It's like, oh, that won't come up later, I'm sure.
By the way, did anybody? I pointed this out in my review. I talked about. Did anybody else get the feeling of like Mithril was just here for comic relief, like in the background, like C-3PO, like oh, like he's not supposed to be here at all in the battle? That's exactly what it
absolutely.
felt like to me, completely.
Yeah.
And it's
Tusken
just
Bob
like
review,
most
I
of
have a
the
slide that
fucking
says
humor,
literally
like
fish out
absolutely
of water,
dropped.
Yeah, fish out of
comic
water.
relief.
Did
And
they
he kept
really
saying-
need him to be the one to go out onto the ledge, and
Hey,
deactivate
Rennie.
the thing?
They basically Grief Karga owns his ass. That's why they took. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But still, it didn't like a lot of the humor just did not land at all.
No, not with him in particular.
There's one
Right.
bit. There's one bit with what's the character's name? The fish dude.
They just call it Mithril. They don't have a name for it.
All right. I'll just call him fish. I'll just call him fish dude.
Little
There's
fishy
one
fish.
bit coming up really soon that I want to talk about that was like, dude, why you? Anyway, we'll get to it in a second. So basically, they run in, and they get to this volcano thing, and it's like there's a shield generator or something holding it all down or something like that. Is that what's going on?
Did
They're
anybody
using the
think
lava
this,
to generate power, and they drain the
cooling pipes.
cooling fluid,
Yeah.
Yes.
so the reactor overloads.
Did anybody think this looked, similar to something else?
Little Death Star like, yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Oh,
like
definitely. Definitely. There's always, little berries there.
Remember the Death
I
Star?
want to know who
Remember when-
designed that council to be on that.
Thank you.
Why
That's what
would
I was
that
gonna point
be
out.
there? Who would design something that dumb? Like, put it on the other side or where there's a longer catwalk. Like, why is that panel there? Oh,
They only stuck it
look
there
like
so
the
people
Death
would.
Star
Exactly.
I will say this.
It's a fucking member berry scene, is what it is. It's exactly.
Yeah,
what it is.
I will say this.
You're
Yes,
certainly
it
not
doesn't
the
make
only
any
one,
sense,
Randy.
but they did it with the shaft in Star Wars, so it's like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
what
that
she
works.
said.
So this'll work. Yeah.
Did it with the shaft.
and one other thing, did anyone else expect in this scene for the monster of the week to come out of that pit and be like a lava monster? Because we've gotten a monster of the week every week except this one.
No,
So-
I didn't think about
No, I didn't really think about that.
that. That would have been funny though. just oh look, a lava sarlacc. We have a
So
sand
basically-
sarlacc, we have
so
sand jaws, we
basically-
have waters. Yeah.
They talked the fish dude into being the one to shut him down. So, because he's the only one that can flick a few switches.
Right.
Yeah, he did some master hacking there. With
oh,
the, with
man.
the code, with the code
And-
cylinder that they
and that's
made
right.
sure to point out that they got.
Yeah. And he was holding it
This'll
out
come
like
in
this
handy.
as they were running away. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
He's like, this will help us. And then it cuts to another shot. And then it cuts back to him. He's still holding it out like this, but they're running.
It's
That is so funny.
It's very important that you loot all the NPCs that you kill in the video game because they must have the passkey that you need later.
It's honestly...
And it's a bitch to go find that passkey after you realize that, oh, it was on some random Imperial guy that I didn't loot, so now I gotta go hunt every dead body halfway across the map.
If you haven't
That's great.
seen it or you're not watching it, it would be worth just going in, finding this scene where Grief Karga picks up the cylinder and he's holding it out and just see how funny it is because it is hilarious.
It's
Like,
super
hold it up
weird.
to the camera.
It's really
I'm
weird.
gonna keep running away now.
It's so weird.
All right.
So weird.
Yeah, it was quite funny. Okay, so yes, the fish dude is the only one that can shut down, flick a few switches. Now, the way he goes out onto... Okay, yes, first of all, it's stupid the setup, right? Having this panel where it is, this panel here, right? And there's only a very small ledge there, and there's no beam, exactly what he says as well. There's no, handrail.
Guardrail. Yeah.
But who finds it stupid that he goes out with his back facing... Like, wouldn't he... Because then he's got to turn around. Did you
You can
notice that he
hold.
had to turn around?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he can hold on to things like... was there audio coming through before
No.
when I played?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
I'm going to play just... Okay, so there's this tiny little ledge, right?
Yeah, he's like, what? There's no
And he
guardrail. You
goes
mean to go
that
out
way.
there?
He goes out that way. Why?
How does the fuck does he do that and then turn around?
Well, he can do it. You'd be able to do it, and you'd be able to turn around.
Yeah, but
it's
why would you not just
why
go out
would
the other
you
way
do-
anyway?
Exactly. I just
Dumbass.
found
And
that
there's,
so funny.
When he turns around, he's at the council. He's like visibly further away than that ledge. They showed that ledge because they didn't show the platform extending a little bit near the
Yeah.
council. So it was it was just weird. It was like, just make it a normal walkway and have him walk to it.
And then
Did
he turns
anybody
around
think
and
he was going to
comes
actually fall?
up. No,
No.
of course not.
Fuck no.
Because then the
'cause he was in-
cylinder's gone. The cylinder's gone, and we're fucking screwed.
Right.
Well, I saw the trailer. I know he's in the transport at the end of the fucking episode. So.
Well, and there's no tension in that moment anyway. So why
so
do
substance
that?
is-
Right. Right. Yep.
By the way, I'm pretty sure the
Sorry, I missed
trailer-
you.
Only shows the first 4 episodes, so the rest of the season we don't have any idea what's coming. So
Good point. Yeah, you're right. I don't remember seeing anything we haven't seen yet. So
no.
So he shuts down this shield thing, and they've basically got
Beep, bop, boop,
about-
beep.
they've
Yeah.
I
basically
really
got
think they
about
should have used that.
yeah.
I know, yeah.
Just to
the
really
sound.
hammer it home.
Yeah, I'm surprised they
And
fucking didn't, to be honest.
They've
with you.
basically got about 10 minutes to get out of there.
Yep.
10
Yeah,
minutes.
don't set your watch though.
No, certainly not. Okay,
That's
so
my favorite part of the episode, by the way.
as they're running away... Oh, Gina doesn't look good in that shot. Let's change that, because we can't have her not looking good.
She's running.
I know.
I think
She's
she looks
running.
But
great
it's
in
just,
that
it's
scene.
just the way it was paused. It kind
I
of
agree
looked like a
100%.
I
bit...
think she
Tim.
looks great in that. Look at that.
I know. She looks fantastic the whole episode.
It's cleavage.
Oh, move your arm.
Yeah, quit blocking her, you fucking idiot. We don't want to see your fucking racist ass.
Blocking. So they're basically just infiltrating as they're trying to get out. So they're, well, infiltrating as they're trying to get out. That sounds ridiculous and pretty much an oxymoron. Yeah. They're blasting their way out, sort of thing.
One thing I want to say here, and
here we go.
Basically for the rest of the episode, we finally see some Star Wars action where we get blasters. There's almost no hand-to-hand bullshit foo.
Yeah.
There's just blasters all over the place. And I was like, thank you. That's Star Wars to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, quit trying to do like the Matrixy kind of kung fu shit.
Greg, don't you remember all those Death Star scenes where Han and Leia and Luke were punching stormtroopers?
The shit out of people.
Yeah, don't you remember? Yeah. No, I don't either, because it didn't happen.
Yeah, I like these scenes where it was just blaster in the hallways and kind of just, it was more exciting to me than watching a bunch of unrealistic flippy-doos and whatever.
Yep.
Cool. This scene here. So they're
at, they don't say fucking. They don't say. Sorry,
it's midichlorians for fuck's sake.
I know that's why. That's one of the reasons I don't think they said it, because they don't want people. They don't want to say midichlorians.
Yeah, but who didn't pick it up? Like
MCAP. We already know what the fuck we're talking about.
MCAP. That's midichlorians for fuck's sake.
Sorry, was that from the recording? The
Yes.
Okay. Dr. Pershing.
He's referring to Baby Yoda's MCAP, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or he says, like, we won't find another person with as high as an MCAP.
Lethal says, don't you remember the start of episode 4? Luke is late to karate practice.
That literally
I want to go to Tashi Station to practice karate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give the fact that the episode, like, I gave it a good rating. I thought it was a decent episode. The action was fine, and the standout was Cara Dune.
We'll get to ratings at the end, Lord Vader.
It was the most fun episode, but
it was definitely the most fun episode. But it did start off really slow, and they could have actually used probably that time at the beginning to actually just add a little bit more. Like, he could have just shown up at the very beginning of the episode, just him landing. They didn't have to do any of that other stuff. They didn't have to do the Gina stuff at the beginning.
The Baby Yoda fixing the wires.
Yoda fixing the wires and eating the soup and deciding to go there. All they had to do was just land there, because his ship's busted. We know at the end of the episode. So basically, where's he going to go? It's
I know,
not out of the realms of possibility that he goes back there to get his ship repaired. You know what I mean? And now episode just automatically.
And he's in the cockpit. He's like talking behind him, like, "Don't forget the wires." I'm like, "Who the fuck are you talking to?" And then I find out it's Baby Yoda that's helping him fix the ship. I'm like,
dude.
What the fuck are you doing? Like, it made no sense completely. Just get rid of that whole fucking intro.
Yeah.
100% agree. It's just a waste of time.
It gets fried, and he delivers this fried Baby Yoda to Ahsoka later in the episode. Like, here you go. I don't know what happened.
I wish you... Yeah.
Okay, so in this scene, they basically come running in, and he's like, destroy the console. So this dude here starts shooting the console, and he starts shooting at them as they come in.
Oh, God, yeah.
But they didn't wreck the console. It was fine. They used it.
Yeah, like they still used the console.
They still fucking used it.
And he shot, how many shots did he fire at? It was pretty nuts.
Maybe they were like, they were doing something else. Maybe they erased some data. I don't know, but they didn't do a very fucking good job of it, because they pulled up a recording immediately.
I was like, wait a minute, they shot the console, so I rewound it, and I'm like, well, I guess he
works.
didn't shoot over on that side of the console. I guess that's how it
works. Or they got killed before they could finish. So they got killed. It did.
So I don't know what all of that was about, to be honest, but like, because was there any dialogue that took place with those characters there that were at the console that actually meant anything?
Well, they said specifically that they were erasing stuff, or in the process of erasing stuff.
So yeah, okay, so that's why they wanted to destroy it, so that they couldn't try and get their hands on it, but they still got their hands on it. Okay, so then we see these things in the tank. Now, can anyone make out what these things are? Are they human-shaped? Are they humans? Are they
It looks
alien?
like a mixture.
They honestly look like gorillas to me.
There's
gorillas
Snopes.
in there.
Yeah. Looks like a hunched over Harambe in that picture.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, so Baby Yoda is being used to make Snoke. Yeah.
Yeah,
Multiple Snokes, different types of Snokes.
Cloning. Secrets only the
If they
Sith.
do that,
Okay, so this is something that I'm really annoyed that I actually didn't mention in my review. And that is, let's just move straight on to this bit. So we get this hologram pop up of the
Dr. Pershing.
the doctor from season 1. And he's used up all the blood from the child because he could only extract a certain amount, being that it was so little, to inject into... What, can anyone really explain to me what they're doing? Or what it seems like they're doing?
I think
We
the
don't know
end game
100%
is
yet.
Moff Gideon is trying to use blood transfusions to give himself force abilities.
Okay,
That's what Rhino said in his
I
review.
do agree
Yeah.
with that, but that was definitely after we spoke. We sort of thought about.
I don't
the
think it
same
was just
thing.
for him. I think he wants to make like force soldiers and stuff.
Army, yeah.
Including himself, yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sure,
and-
but I think the number one goal is probably himself.
Is for him.
He has
Himself.
Dark Saber, all that stuff. Yeah.
So, how does everybody feel about Baby Yoda's blood being the catalyst to be able to make force sensitives?
I think if
well,
you
we
combine
don't know
that
what really
with the
is.
Tribble blood
We don't know if
from
that is,
Into
but I'm just-
Darkness, you are
I'm-
undefeatable.
He's
Theoretically,
assuming that.
if that's where they are going with this, how do you feel about that?
they've already, like an
Force-
expanded universe, they've
Force
said
blood.
you can't do that. So
Yeah.
You know what? It makes me think about the new Khan movie with the new
Yeah.
Star Trek.
Yeah, I was just saying.
Khan blood.
Like,
Yeah.
If you combine Khan blood with Baby Yoda blood, you will be God.
yeah,
Yeah. I don't think they're going to make it to where it's actually going to work. I think we all know it's not going to work. He's just trying to make it work because he wants to be Darth Vader.
Yeah, but they're teasing so much.
I don't
Well,
think
I mean,
it's
he's
ever
even
going to
got
work.
the
You mean his chest
plate
plate
with the
and all
lights
that?
and- yeah.
Nah, they're foreshadowing just even with the experiments that they've done, and then even at the end of this with the soldiers, which we'll get to. But
Yeah, and I can't remember the name of those fucking things either.
Yeah.
yeah. The most Darth Plagueis ever did, and he's the one that experimented most with midi-chlorians. He was able to basically bring someone, like reanimate their life, but not give someone force powers. They clearly said you just can't do that. Otherwise, why didn't they do it thousands of years before, like A New Hope? So
Because science.
yeah,
It's kind of like Magneto in X-Men 1.
That's how Rey became the chosen one. They took Anakin's blood, and Rey was made from
stuck it up her
Anakin's
ass,
blood. Oh no, because she's a Palpatine. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, I
Can't
agree
actually
with Vader. I think it's going to fail.
We can't legitimately make her a Skywalker. That's not right.
Yeah. I think that's his goal. I don't think it'll ultimately be
Absolutely agree with that. Greg.
successful, like he'll actually have force abilities. Or if he does, it'll be like he has it for like 60 seconds or something, and then it wears out when the midichlorians don't like realize that they're not in the right body.
Or when he
something.
tries to use the Force, his nose bleeds really badly or some shit like that.
that's the season finale. I guarantee.
That's what happens with special powers when they overdo them in shows and movies, like their nose bleeds.
Yeah.
That's what we're
The
doing here.
Force
We are
lightning,
literally
it'll be
figuring
like,
out the
wah,
season
wah,
finale.
wah.
Yeah, it'll come out and it'll go limp. Yeah,
This is where they all find out that Moff Gideon's still alive, because he goes, oh, it must be an old recording, because he's speaking directly to Moff Gideon. And he goes, the recording came in
3 days old. Yeah,
days ago. And they all sort of can't believe it. So they're like, well, if Moff Gideon's still alive, and Cara Dune's like, yeah, okay, you jetpack back, because they're now worried about the child. They think that this might be a trap or something, and now they can get the child, because tracking fobs is still a thing, Blake. Even though we haven't seen them at all this season. They've just
And I
seemed
don't
to
think we will.
And they just seem to fall off the map. Like, no explanation for how these things actually work. Just, they were there and now they're not there.
Well, it's interesting that they thought Moff Gideon was dead. Like, I get why at the end of episode 8 they thought he was dead. But if the bounty is still active, and you would think Mando or Grief Karga would know, then obviously, like, somebody's still after Baby Yoda. So the idea of, like, because Mando goes, "Oh my God, Baby Yoda! I left him at the school. I need to go get him really quick, because Moff Gideon is still alive." It's like, did you think nobody was after him anymore? Like,
That's
just
what I said
dealt
in
with
my
people.
review.
Yeah, well, I didn't watch your review. Sorry, not yet. Anyway,
yeah, it
no,
came
just
out
saying,
when we
like-
started this.
Yeah.
No, I was just saying, like, I pointed that out. Like, why does he keep fucking leaving him places? Take him with you. Make some kind of backpack with Beskar or some shit. Do something.
Wherever
But just
I
take
go,
him
he
with you,
goes.
for God's sake.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
right.
exactly.
I'm actually curious now what actually happened
Pissed
to
me
the,
off.
to the armorer chick. She's obviously left this planet.
Yeah,
but
she's
anyway,
gone.
It's just because we saw that room
The
at the beginning.
garrison's gone, yeah.
Okay, so they all freak out, and Mando goes and he jetpacks back because it's going to take him a lot less time to jetpack halfway around the planet to get back to his ship.
Literally halfway around the planet,
yeah.
he's got enough fuel, and man, does he make good time. Holy
Oh, yeah,
shit,
he
he must have
does.
been going like fucking Mach 15.
Yeah.
So this is where, even in my review, I said it's like we get a montage of hallway scenes of them running down hallways and shooting stormtroopers, because it was literally
fun.
like it was okay, and I'm just having a little bit of a nitpick at it because I just find the amount of montages that they've got in this series is just beyond a joke.
It's Mandosteen 3D is what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And it kind of looked.
And they
yeah,
just
it looked
mow
like
through, too. I mean, they just barely even get paused.
Yeah,
They're just like
and it's kind of.
mowing
you
them
can
down.
kinda-
And like, well, where was that aggressive nature when you were dealing with him in Chapter 8? You were like, fuck it, we're toast. We need this robot to go kill himself in the lava river.
Yeah.
And they're just like mowing through.
Now, one thing that I didn't notice is that they're actually there. Why didn't they actually turn?
Yeah, I was wondering.
Just turn
He
it
was
back
at
on.
the panel, so
And the thing still explodes at the end. They still obviously complete the mission and destroy the base.
why even show that shot if nothing happened, you know?
Well, because it's a set they already used, and then you can jet out the top. I didn't like I don't think that one's particularly an issue because at that point I assumed that the chain reaction or the reactor problem is probably beyond critical, that they can't repair it.
Well, there he is at the
Most likely.
counter
Yeah.
because he's at the panel when this soldier drops down there.
And they show
There he
that
is.
red bar is almost like it's 3/4 of the way
it's
up.
almost-
Maybe it's just
Yeah.
maybe he looks at it
Maybe
and
it's
goes,
too late.
"Fuck,"
Yeah.
and then he
Fuck,
goes,
it's critical. All you gotta do is say that and run away, yeah.
So Mando gets out and he, takes off. We get to see that scene from. Now, look, don't get me wrong. I think that looked awesome, like him jetting off like that. Again, the visuals of this episode were fantastic, and the action in the episode, especially late in this episode, were fantastic. I think too.
Yeah.
yeah, I enjoyed it.
Really enjoyable and really just sort of fun,
The speeder bike chase, the TIE fighter part, that was all good stuff.
Yeah.
It was.
So Cara Dune and Grief Karga and the fish dude, they all get into the transporter and they decide to go off the cliff because they get boxed in. And these two stormtroopers think that it's cool just to stand here and fire at this thing. I don't know what they know what this thing's made of. They know that they're not
It's
going to.
armored.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they're just using normal hand blasters to try and shoot it. And we're just going to stand here till the last minute. Anyway, they go flying off the cliff, and then the chase starts. And the speeder bikes come after them. So that's where we go to here. Again, I actually liked this. I thought it was really good. It was another moment where Cara Dune could kind of shine in her abilities, I suppose. Not that she really did a lot, but she did well enough under the circumstances, I think. And Grief Karga got on the gun, and it was kind of just a really cool chase.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you enjoy it? Anyone got anything to say about it?
I enjoyed it. I loved how she smashed one of the scout troopers into the fucking canyon wall.
Yeah, it looked
that
really
was
good.
pretty cool.
It looked really good too. Sounded really good.
Yeah, that was some
liked
Dukes of
how-
Hazzard shit.
I know. I liked how Grief Karga was looking around with the the gunner position, and the one guy was on top of the tank about to drop the thing in, and he saw him and he shot him and blew him the fuck off there. And his helmet was like rolling on the side of the canyon. I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah,
I didn't.
I
like
the design of the tank ship.
He had to wait for like the lock on the target that was like right in front of the guns, because you notice like it shows oh, locked on target. It's like it's fucking 3 inches away from the gun.
Yeah,
I think like you can fire like at any point here.
Just start going bow bow bow. Yeah.
As fun as it was, I think it's derivative of the the TIE fighter fight scene a bit in A New Hope, and a lot of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Oh, I was going to say that too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's very.
It definitely
but
did.
It was still fun to watch.
yeah.
It reminds me of there's a scene in Rebel Assault 2 where you're like piloting in a canyon like this. That's one thing I thought of.
Too. I was too. I was very surprised at that. That he was like, I thought that he was just a bounty for another guy. So like, Grief Karga would just pass him on. But
Grief Karga's using his ass. Like, do shit for me, piece of shit.
yeah. So okay, after they destroy all the speeder bike troopers, they then get the TIE fighters out. I don't know why they didn't deploy them all at the same time, but cool. It gets to drag it out a little bit longer, I suppose, the chase. How does everybody feel about these TIE fighters as opposed to like the standard TIE fighter that can't fold the wings down?
Have they made a toy of this?
They probably
I
have.
think so.
Okay.
I don't think
Oh,
so.
maybe not then.
I
don't know how I
like
feel
the
about
design.
it because I don't know how I feel about it because they used to just land like that and then they'd just have a ladder that goes down, didn't they?
I'm okay with this. I'm okay with it. It's not like
I don't have a
big
massive
changing
problem
thing.
with it.
It's not really that big of a deal. I think it looks cool.
I suppose
that's what they did it for.
evolution, they might have
absolutely.
evolved them to land
Absolutely.
easier so they don't have to. Yeah.
Except the first order. Apparently, the first order didn't evolve because they're just still the stupid old ones.
So as that happens,
They just copied off everything the fucking Empire did. That's what the first order was.
So as they launch, the base explodes.
I love that
So-
visual of it. I thought it looked great.
It did look good.
Wait, what did you love? The explosion?
Yeah, the visual of it exploding. Yeah,
Yeah, it didn't look
I thought it looked better
yeah.
than when Starkiller blew up. To be honest with you,
I don't even remember what that looked like.
it looked fucking stupid, is what it looked like.
At least they're hitting their targets. Yeah, well, it kind of looked like they were maybe.
Oh, and
hitting
that's
their
so
targets, but they
overblown
weren't
of
really.
them not
It
hitting
is.
targets.
I know. I hated that from the last episode. They couldn't hit
Yeah.
the backside of a bantha or something like that.
Yeah,
He
in
says.
response to that,
And
I
I'm like-
posted a YouTube video of someone put together every time they hit their targets, and it far outweighs the times they didn't. It's
I just always go back to the line from episode 1, episode 4, or A New Hope, Star Wars, whatever you want to call it, where Obi-Wan says these are too accurate for sand people. Only Imperial stormtroopers could be this precise.
yeah.
They meant compared to an indigenous species on Tatooine as well too. So
Whatever it means, like it's in the line. I just hate the fact that meme has become such a thing.
what they could
And
do is just have it to
Jonathan Tier,
where
thank
they could
Jonathan
explain
for
it a
coming
little bit,
past.
like, hey, these lower end
Joe Pineapple.
stormtroopers can't hit shit. These next levels up are a little bit better. Then the Death Troopers and these other ones are a lot better. They can make it to where some of them hit, some of them miss, and you can explain that it's the different ranks of troopers. The lower just stormtroopers are a fucking bunch of morons, so they just had to get massive amounts of them, so they just took anybody into the Empire, which is even in old canon was the same way.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right, Jack of all casuals. I agree. They can evolve stuff, and that's cool. I just was asking, like, what do people prefer sort of thing? Do you prefer sort of like the old school, just landing down and the ladder coming down and them staying up, or...
I
Yeah.
prefer the old one, but these, this could be explained a million different ways. Maybe it was
Absolutely.
a batch
Oh,
that were experimental that this guy got his hands on, but at the same
Yeah,
time, it's
yeah.
like,
Well, again, the evolution of technology, they could have just evolved it to the point where...
I don't think that's the case because, if
They do
the
take up
Empire's
more space.
destroyed, like, I think it was probably something that Sinar had made and Moff Gideon got his hands on it. But for them to keep on designing ships and stuff after the Empire's gone, it has to be something that's always been there. We just haven't seen it yet. That's
Right.
That's my
it was
take.
an experimental thing that existed before Return of the Jedi.
Because think about all the
Otherwise, like,
ties.
their R&D budget was probably shot after,
Exactly. And think about all the ties that we've seen, like in the games, that you don't see, like weird looking ones and stuff. So it's fine. I mean, but it's
just a different cool looking ship.
Yeah.
I think for practicality purposes, I would prefer the older design.
Me too.
Because you can take off quicker. Like if you need to rush to your vehicle, take off and get airborne to fight in a fight, it's more practical to climb up a ladder really quick than have this like collapsing wing thing going on.
And they take up less space when they are landed, when they are like that, as opposed to actually the wings folding down and then them taking up a wider space.
Yeah.
But again, it still fits, and I don't have a big issue. I was just asking. All right, so after it blows up, he takes out one of the TIE fighters with the cannon on the back, and only just in time too. And then it sort of smashes into the back of the thing and takes the cannon out. So they got no firepower anymore. And it's starting to become all doom and gloom for them. Like that's it. They're getting out.
And then they get into the opening now, and then they're a lot more fighters. Yeah.
I found it so funny because they were so close up behind it, especially when he took it out, because of course it hit the back of the shuttle, and then they sort of speed off into the open. And I was like, I was watching it with my mate, and I'm like, what, did those other 3 TIE fighters just disappear? And then all of a sudden, then they were there. It just like they weren't there for a while. Not a big deal, but it was just something funny. I was just sitting there. I'm like, what? They disappear, and then they appeared. Yeah.
Here they are.
So yeah, and it's all dire and like, what are they going to do, because they're all out in the open. And then the Razor Crest.
The fully repaired and shined up and
wow, that was a quick repair job, huh?
So that not only was that a go on, Tim.
Well, my only theory is that since this place was on the other side of the planet in the beginning, maybe they took a lot longer than they
That's
showed.
exactly what I said. Yeah.
But at the end, they're there instantly, right?
Yeah, they got back there really. They got back there really, really quick.
It's called plot convenience.
Yes.
yeah, for being on the other side.
Speed of plot.
Absolutely.
The larger issue, I think, even besides just the repair thing, is like if the ship was repaired and ready to go, why didn't the spy guy just go grab Baby Yoda and take off with the ship?
There you go.
Because they need to get the blood, and that's not what he's being paid to do. He's being paid just to put a tracker on it, which we'll get to again.
But rather than tell him to do that, just tell him to nab Baby Yoda. Like, they're obviously in communication, so It seems like there was a more plausible way to get Baby Yoda than plant the tracker route.
Well, Jack of all casuals, I don't know how fast they can actually go, but when we look at the map and when they spin the map around from where they are to where the base is that they've got to go to, they are on sort of opposite sides of the planet, if not like at least a good third way around the planet. So
that's like Superman speed, basically. He had to have been going in order to make it back in time.
They said he was much faster than the speeders and ships. So
sorry,
because he can take to the air. He doesn't have to follow the terrain.
I have to just interrupt just to say, fuck South Australia, Daniel. and your cases, they're going through the roof now over there. It's all them. Fucking Daniel's responsible for spreading it. He got booty and he's spreading it.
Jesus.
Yes, I mention tracking fobs nearly every week, Will. And they piss me off how they bring them in, don't explain them, and drop them, and just leave them to
they're never going to explain them. So
yeah, well, I mean, the tracker that they put on this ship is an extra tracker because they already have one for Baby Yoda. It's extra tracking.
Yeah, Yeah, I was wondering the same thing. Why don't they have a fucking tracking file for Baby Yoda, or did Mando remove it in an unknown scene that's
What was
deleted?
that?
I
That
don't
was
know.
the cracking of a Mountain Dew. Sorry.
Oh, it sounded like a whip. But
it sounded like somebody got slapped.
Greg's
but yeah, the
SNL.
one that he used here has to be.
Mara jumped through her screen with her blue hair on and slapped me across the face.
But the one they use
oh,
here
God.
has to be more like a like the one like an S thread tracker, like the one Obi-Wan used on Slave One. You know.
Yep.
But I think the tracking fobs are only supposed to work when you're in the vicinity, not like across interstellar distances. But I they never explained it, so I could be wrong.
I kind of agree that could be the case.
Like if you know what planet they're on, then you
can
go
get
there.
and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
you can, and then the
Yeah.
tracker
Yep.
will work. But even still, I mean, if it's based on DNA, well, we know that they've had his DNA. But if it is based on
clearly had his
DNA,
blood.
you think about episode 2 or 3, I think, of season 1, when all the trackers start going off at the same time, and everyone's got a tracker to Baby Yoda. Now, whether or not it's just a program of like the person's DNA that you just put into this tracking fob, you obviously wouldn't have to put like a thumbprint bit of like blood on it, but I don't know.
Well, see, the thing is, it's
Hey.
like, okay, so the Empire clearly has, or Gideon has, substantial resources at his disposal, right? He's flying around in a Star Destroyer, and, you know, those things have consumables on them, like, I'm assuming require maintenance and refueling and, all that stuff. And that's not to be an issue, like, so if you're the Empire, or if you're Moff Gideon, like, you just grab like a couple baskets full of them fucking tracking fobs and send one dude to every planet incognito,
Yeah.
and then just say radio me if your tracker goes off.
Yeah. And it definitely does feel like a video game. This whole season, more so than the last season. I mean, you could make arguments for moments within the last season that were very video game style storytelling. But this season, so much more. It's like, again, every episode is I scratch your back, you scratch mine first. Like, before we do what you want to do, Mando, you've got to do something I want to do.
Yep.
Every episode has been that way.
Right.
And yeah, it's like we've had boss fights. We've completed those levels. It's like when Rey force heals the worm and it slithers out the way. It's like level complete. There's the exit.
Yep.
Yeah. So okay, this scene I kind of did like though. The Razor Crest coming in, saving the day, and the maneuver that he pulls off. He tracks one of them down, and he shoots them on the way up, and then he does this flip and turn, and he
He
comes
hits
back
the brakes
down.
and they fly right by.
Yeah,
It
no,
was
not
almost a Top
quite.
Gun move.
Yeah, it was. It was a cool.
It was cool.
move.
It was
It
cool.
was
it was.
cool. And the way that was shot, like I thought, looked really good. It was a really good moment. And again, it was the later part of this episode was just fun, which was good. Which was a good thing, I think.
What I liked about this moment, though, is it showed him being a competent pilot. Like
Yeah.
in previous episodes, he seemed to get gunned down and shit pretty easy. And this one, he was just like, I'm fucking done playing with these bastards. I'm going to fucking kick
Yeah.
some ass. And in this scene, there's the one moment of Baby Yoda that I didn't mind and kind of slightly enjoyed was basically when he's doing like the barrel rolls and flips. Baby Yoda is just kind of like, wee.
Yeah,
enjoying
yeah, I did
himself.
like that too.
And he spits up from he gets sick from.
Yeah,
from,
he does.
Oh shit!
Like-
Excuse me.
Like if you're gonna do Baby Yoda cutesy stuff, like more of that and less of the electrician and egg eating shit.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That
He did
seemed
spit
to
up.
that seemed to fit, and like I don't like Baby Yoda. I still don't like him, but like that moment was like, oh, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll agree with you on that one for sure.
I will
Try
as
spitting.
well.
That's a neat trick.
Oh, I thought about that too. I did think that.
Yeah, but
We'll
like,
try spinning. That's a neat trick. But
I
this
love
was
this.
sick.
It works.
Oh, whoa. This was sick.
He
He
didn't
was
just do a spin on a single axis. Like he did like a barrel roll is
barrel
different
roll.
than just
Yeah, he did.
spinning on one axis.
yeah. But while he was doing this barrel roll, he's locking on target. And when he gets close enough that, no matter how he's spinning, he's still going to be able to take out this ship, he takes the shot. And man, this TIE fighter's trying to shoot him, and he's just barrel rolling through this fight. It was really good. I actually really enjoyed it. It was a great
And it was our
scene.
hero being heroic and competent and a good fighter instead of like the previous episode where he's kind of trailing back most of the time and kind of didn't know what to do, it looked like. Like this one, he was badass, you know, as a pilot. And I liked seeing that. It's like, okay, the main character can do something. He's not just kind of like along for the ride and goes wherever the wind blows. He's taking control.
Yeah.
What did you think of the, I think 2 or 3 shots that were a little morbid of the TIE pilots getting like creamed?
Yeah, that was a little excessive. Like where
Which bit?
it was like a slow blow up where it was just like
Oh.
They actually you actually see like the shots from the Mando like go through the cockpit and fucking hit him. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. That was pretty morbid. Yeah, right there.
There it is, right there.
He's like, yeah, I got hit. Yeah, yeah. They showed him getting fucking rocked.
Yeah, that was that's something we haven't really seen. Cause...
Yeah, right there. He's like, the shots are coming through the cockpit. I thought that was great.
They did it in the canyon briefly too.
Yeah.
Try and show that quickly again. Oh,
You're gonna get in trouble.
yeah,
He keeps pausing it like that. He's fine.
I think it's the sound more than it is the visual.
It is.
yeah. Well, that's why I
that'll
decided
get you
no
flagged.
sound.
It's 3 seconds. It's 3 seconds.
And that's why, I decided with no sound.
That's what Mahler said. I think it's like 3 or 4 seconds that you can do.
What?
Again, the shot of this was it was great. It really did
was.
look good. I thought it was the best part. Probably the best scene in all of the Mandalorian series.
Yeah, Jonathan, I agree. This episode did go hard on Imperials getting fucked.
Damn, he was on fire.
Yeah, that was a great shot.
I can hear the audio and hear the noise. The noise
I love
he's
it.
making.
I love it. Play it like he comes through. Play it real quick. I want to see if he comes through that. Yeah, that was cool. How he kind of came around it and didn't fly through the debris like every other fucking stupid show.
Well, even on the way up, when he took out the first TIE fighter, he takes out the TIE fighter and he goes around the debris. It was actually
Which is
like,
what it
okay,
should be.
good. That's what should be happening. We don't just blow things up and fly straight through them. Unless it's the Death Star and there's no pieces left on any planets anywhere.
No, that's
Like
true.
now is canon in this fucking show.
A quarter of the Death Star survived.
Dick.
She's so pretty.
Damn. Well, Warner Brothers is an asshole, Jade.
Yeah, she is.
All right.
Look at.
So basically, what was that?
What are you laughing at, Tim?
Oh, this guy, man. It's like, here's the
laughing at this
thing.
guy.
Oh, hang on. Hang on. Sorry, before we go into that, Mando flies off and he goes, I can't get, he's like, how about a drink? And he's like, no, I can't. I've got to go off and finish what I'm doing here. So he's taking Baby Yoda to see Ahsoka. Anyway, sorry, Tim, what were you saying?
So the outer rim is like all the way around, right? So the further you get out from the center, the bigger it is. And this guy's like the one guy. Now we can say, maybe Navarro.
Patrolman.
Maybe Navarro's in the same sector or one of the adjoining sectors, but still, this is
He's
guy.
always on shift.
Yeah, he's like the whole outer rim's like cop or whatever. I mean,
No,
and he reminds me of a
doing
cop.
an
Like,
investigation.
there's always that.
He does call him a cop, doesn't he, or something?
He calls
like
him
that?
officer. Yeah. There's
Yeah,
always
officer,
that
yeah.
heavy set veteran cop in every town, and that's who this
I
guy
get too old
is.
for this shit. He'll say that in one of the episodes. Just wait.
He's like a combination of like Mr. Miyagi and Gil Grissom.
I can't
from
drink
CSI.
Mr. Miyagi. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
Oh,
Okay, so what do we think about, like, he's coming there, he's asking about the Razor Crest, but hold on. 2 episodes ago, he had the Razor Crest in his, like, there was a beat-up ship. He let him go,
hold on.
and now he's...
I don't think
like
he's
the-
looking. I thought about this. I don't think he's
not
looking for the Razor Crest. I think they heard about this battle, and then he showed up. And once he found out the Razor Crest was there, he's just trying to get all the information of what went down. I don't think he showed up looking.
He's like, I don't really care. I just got to fill out this report.
Yeah, exactly.
But the other thing too is he's actually guessing about the Razor Crest because he goes, "Oh, it came up on these things," and Grief Karga's like, "Those things aren't reliable at all. Like, what are you talking about?
They
That
can't
doesn't
tell
work."
pre-imperial from post-imperial.
That's
Yeah,
right.
they're old
That's what the explanation is.
And that's
So-
not the name of the ship either. That's like the class of gunship.
Class
so.
of ship, yeah. They don't say
Anyway.
the Razor Crest; they say a Razor Crest, I believe. Yeah.
So yeah, I just thought this interrogation was interesting. I was like, "What?"
I like
okay,
how
this-
Grief Karga just blows him the fuck off. Like, yeah, whatever, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, he goes to the door and is like, "See ya."
And I do like how they kind of Grief Karga does say in his thing, like the New Republic's not going to continue to get to patrol out here because it's just too large in the Outer Rim and they don't have enough people and they don't have enough jurisdiction. There's some like throwaway lines about that.
Because they're the
I can
most
appreciate that.
ineffective government, as Greg will tell us,
Yeah.
ever. So
They have to break off into two parts. They have to have New Republic and then they have to break off to the Resistance,
yeah,
which is fun.
Well, right. Like, okay, so all the crime lords and shit are operating in the Outer Rim. Like, so that's where you would send your enforcement group. Like,
right.
you wouldn't have them all just hanging out on Coruscant investigating nothing.
Oh, didn't you hear the rotating capitals on Chandrila during this episode? So
I did like how he said, "Whatever, this ain't fucking Coruscant. They don't have
Shangri-La.
good scanners."
that's Mon Mothma's homeworld.
Okay, so how do we feel about this conversation that took place?
Okay, here's what I'm going to say.
Does anybody want to explain just to the chat what happened as opposed to me? Because I need to go.
No,
to the
go ahead,
bathroom.
explain it, and I'll tell you.
No,
more
no,
about it.
I can somebody else explain it because
Yeah,
I just
yeah,
got to
yeah,
run to
yeah.
the bathroom.
So
No.
he is like talking to her and basically trying to re-recruit her back into the rebellion, New Republic, whatever. And guess where she's from? Alderaan.
Alderaan.
Like when I ran like games,
I kind of like that. So,
Well, when I ran RPG games, like all the characters, like people that were playing, wanted to be from 3 planets. Can you guess what they are?
Alderaan,
Alderaan, Tatooine.
Tatooine, Coruscant,
Corellia.
Corellia. Okay,
Because of Han Solo, those are the 3 planets. It's like it
makes sense.
It makes the galaxy so like small. Like
Absolutely.
number one, here's
I
the
do agree
cop.
with that.
But she had to be from Alderaan. Like they could have made up a new world that got destroyed by the Empire or something like that. But it had
Yeah.
to be
Hang on.
Alderaan.
We
She's going to be
already know-
Leia's
we already
sister or
knew-
something.
We already knew that. We already knew.
Oh
that
yeah,
she was from Alderaan.
yeah. They talked. They mentioned in the episode 8, I think, last season that she was from Alderaan.
Did they really?
Yeah. Because
I
when
totally
Grief,
missed
when
that.
Grief Karga,
Yeah.
when when not Grief Karga, when Moff Gideon shows up, he says Din Djarin's name. He also mentions that Cara Dune from Alderaan
Yep.
is in there
He
as
does.
well, and
Interesting.
Shock Trooper. So we already knew that she was from Alderaan. But
I
hey,
think-
19K Fox, how you doing, man? Thanks for coming
They
by.
they remember Alderaan, and that the Death Star exploded. That the Death Star took out Alderaan, but they don't remember Luke fucking Skywalker, Jedi Knight, who took down the fucking Emperor at the end of Return of the Jedi. For fuck's
Yeah,
sake.
he's forgettable.
Well, and that
Jesus.
story's been done, like, in the EU a lot of times, like with other characters. So it's like, make up
Yeah,
something new.
reminiscing about the Lost Planet. And
I was
everything.
I
Yeah.
was okay with that with her character. I like how they kind of add a little bit of depth to her character.
Yeah, no, I don't mind that either.
either. The
I just
dialogue
find that-
itself was terrible.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, yeah,
with
I didn't
that.
say yeah.
But the one thing that I do want to say is the fact that we keep going to all of these planets that we basically know. I think the only new planets that we've been to is Navarro, like here, that's been created, and like the ice planet.
No,
and
but
the
hey,
water
hang
planet.
on. The ice planet, I checked Wikipedia, and it's actually the same ice planet from the from the first episode.
Oh,
That's
okay,
what-
so he was there already.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
nice.
what it says in Wikipedia, and I guess they got it from the
Interesting.
subtitles, which is completely dumb. But here's something else I didn't like about this scene. Yeah, the dialogue was goofy and stunted and all that, but here we go with one of the few character scenes, but it doesn't involve
The Mandalorian.
the main character
Din
with
Djarin.
her. Like, what? And this guy, like, what the hell? I mean,
Because Din Djarin is going to be pushed to the side later down the road. So
this guy's gonna get his own show.
So in a
they're
way,
all- you get a show. You get a show. You get a show.
Captain
in a
Crunch.
way-
fucking show.
Outer Rim.
you know what we'll get? they'll
Outer
do,
Rim cops.
they'll do an offshoot series about Cara
Fat
Dune.
boys.
They'll do a series about Cara Dune's childhood and growing up to become a shock trooper, and we'll see her growing up on Alderaan.
Sir,
So-
why
I
is
don't
your
want to see that.
land
I want to
speeder-
see her, not some younger version of her.
This pilot guy
Naked?
reminds me when he's with Dave Filoni.
Sure.
It was like Chips,
Yeah.
like the motor. They're like the
Right.
motorcycle highway patrol in
No,
California.
the frog. I was about to say that the water planet was a new planet,
Trash.
Yeah.
but I still
mean-
find that all of these
Home of
little
J.C.
things.
Penney's.
It makes the world seem so small, and it's like
Yeah.
like what you're saying about this guy being the only X-wing pilot that patrols like everywhere. He's just the one that patrols everywhere. Like they could have got it. They could have cast another person to come in
Yeah.
and do it.
Was
As
anyone else
opposed to
afraid
fucking
Filoni
tired.
would be outside when he went outside?
Me too. I was.
Yes.
I was.
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't honestly didn't
Without
think
his
about
helmet
that.
on.
I was.
Again, jack of all casuals. Like I see that, like by what you're saying, that you're sort of trying to defend the series a little bit. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I feel like it's unfair for us not to pick it apart the way we
Yeah.
pick apart everything, and especially with what Disney has given us. Can you really blame us for picking it apart? I mean, I want to like it, but at the same token, it's like, well, this is going into a future, and I've said it on nearly every review that I've done. This is going into a future that I couldn't give two shits about.
Well, so
Yeah, go on.
it's not the intent of the dialogue or the overall message. Like he's trying to recruit her. She's like, "Nah, I'm not a joiner and everything." But like he literally says, like, "I served during Alderaan."
Yeah.
That's like somebody saying, "I served during Germany."
Yeah.
During Alderaan, the Death Star showed up and blew it out of the stars. There was no battle.
Yeah.
It showed up and blew up the planet. There was no Alderaan battle. Like, so I served during Alderaan. Like, what does even that? What does that fucking mean? Like,
Yeah.
I was alive when Alderaan got destroyed. Well, clearly,
Then say
you
that.
look old enough. I mean, everybody is.
Yeah.
Everybody is old enough, probably. Other than, I mean, hell, even Baby Yoda's old enough. It just doesn't. It doesn't make sense, and the whole thing is like, did you lose anybody? Well, what kind of stupid fucking question is that? Her home planet's Alderaan, and the whole planet got destroyed. Yeah, I think she lost some people. Duh.
I lost everyone, she says
Yeah.
to him.
Well, yeah, it's her home fucking planet. Everybody from Alderaan who wasn't on Alderaan at the time basically lost pretty much everybody. That's kind of how it worked. That's what made it so horrible that they did it. It just that kind of dialogue drives me nuts because I'm like, I guess that it's CW like fake drama.
It ain't that bad.
Yeah. This is almost like an exact CW scene.
It ain't that bad, dude.
So at the end of the day, though,
Well, I
he's
mean, it's
try-
not in a
he's-
coffee shop, so I'll give it that.
at the end of the day, he's trying to recruit her to come and help them or to serve with the rebellion.
Yeah.
Well,
And that
not
I
really the
totally
rebellion.
get.
Sorry, with the New Republic. And that I understand too, because she does have she is a shock trooper. She does have the tattoos and everything, so everyone knows what that means.
Yeah.
Just write better dialogue.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
And between the correct characters too, like good grief.
Yeah, that would have been a good
Mando's
moment
like,
for her, and
I'm
like,
out.
yeah, that could have been a good moment for her and Mando to like relate to. Like he lost his family, she lost hers.
Yes.
Or maybe Luke Skywalker shows up and he has the conversation with her.
Who?
Luke Skywalker.
They don't know who that is. So
Or Leia. Go talk to
Yeah.
Leia.
He was just-
Or maybe
She's from Alderaan.
maybe Padme. She uses the veil of the Force and she comes through and she talks to Cara Dune really quickly and then goes back.
Padme.
It's frustrating because like you have talented people there that can do a lot better with the dialogue. I think.
Yes.
I would say it's definitely the best episode out of the season so far. Because at least it's kind of continued on from the first season's narrative and
Yeah, we actually
story
get
that
some
they're
fucking
trying to give
story
us.
plot, yeah.
They gave us something finally. Again, you could almost say the first 3 episodes were filler. Like there wasn't really too much yeah, it was awesome seeing, live action Bo-Katan and everything last episode. But, yes, he does find out the information of where to find Ahsoka. And again, we're now getting more Ahsoka being so important and valuable to everything. But anyway, now I'm going off on a tangent. Moving on. So this conversation, yes. Then it cuts away from that. I actually thought it was going to end here. And then it cuts to... Actually, I should just go back. Basically, the ship coming over. And
was I the only one that thought in the beginning when they showed that guy who we see on the hologram here who was fixing the ship, he had like turned around and watched them walk away and gave this weird ass look that he was going to be some
cheeky
for the Empire. I'm like, this dude's going to be relevant towards the end of the episode, and I was right. He was. Yep.
Yeah, they telegraphed
a spy.
A little bit.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, foreshadowing. Not really well, but it was.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just reading.
Is he a Maz Kanata species?
He looks like that little thing that
maybe.
helped Palpatine, like fake Palpatine.
You see what I call him in my.
I can't wait. Is that out? Oh yes, it is. You're going to play it for us at the end. Okay, so basically, what this is here is this hologram dude is a mechanic, and he worked on the Mandalorian's ship, and you can see that he's a sly little fucker. Right at the beginning because of the way that he looks over and he's like, yes, I'm going to do something, like that, but without saying anything or doing any of that. And he then confirms to the Imperials here that he's put a tracker on the Razor Crest.
Yeah.
She then goes to Moff Gideon.
She's got to be a woman.
To tell... I mean, I didn't have a problem with that. The her being a woman thing.
It was just I just knew, so I'm like, oh, of course she is.
Yeah. I immediately thought, like, is that the character from the video game?
I thought that. I actually did think that for a second. I don't know.
No, they would have cast the same person. I think.
Yeah,
if it was,
it wasn't.
Yeah.
I did think about it very briefly. The whole idea, again, touched on it before, but tracking the ship, it's like, if Moff Gideon wants Baby Yoda, right, and that's the mission, and you got a spy on the planet, why didn't you tell the spy to just not repair the ship at all, and we'll be there in a few minutes? Like,
because I wonder if he knows or if he thinks that he's going to lead him to more Force users because of the child.
I mean, maybe, but like. That opens up a whole nother, can of worms. Is like, well, he knows where Luke is, right? He can go right after Luke or Leia the same way. Like, that'd be pretty bold. The child is kind of off on its own. It's an easier target. Mm-hmm. I would think you just, like, sabotage the ship. Or, like, sabotage it in a way where, like, once it gets out into space, remote break the hyperdrive or something where you can you just trap them. Mm-hmm. Like, there's better ways than to just track the ship. Not to mention the fact that he could have just grabbed Baby Yoda and took off with him in the Razor Crest and gone.
Or use interdiction fields or something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think they really use interdiction fields in the Star Wars.
They do. They actually used them in Rebels.
Oh, that's right. They do use them in
Rebels. But whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't have one.
I just, in regards to this comment, is it Rayron? Rayron. BR? Rayron. Basically, I completely agree. This scene of the episode, which is the final scene, actually gave us more than I think. Like, it was what made the episode for me, and we finally get some development for the villain as well. Really? Even though it leaves us with a little bit of questions. It did leave us with a few questions. So what... You going?
He was just twirling his mustache. Like, he didn't really say anything. I mean, you get the background of what's in the background's interesting, but, like, what he himself says is not very...
He's just mustache twirling.
Yeah, but we do get some development through that hologram as well for him. Because obviously,
that's earlier. So I credit that scene, not this one.
Yeah, that's fair call. But then right at the end here, like these soldiers,
They were either in Clone Wars or Rebels. I don't know what the fuck they are. I forgot what they're called, but they were in one of the two.
No, they're not the shock troopers.
No, I saw
There's
the screen.
nothing more
Somebody
than
did a
that.
screenshot on Twitter it was from the animated. It was either from Clone Wars or Rebels. I don't remember what they were.
Me too. The end of the episode was the best. Like from the moment that like Cara Dune took off and went off the edge in the thing, that's when the episode really ramped up for me, and it was like, all right, this is action packed. It's a bit of fun. Yes, there are a few little nitpick issues that I might have here and there, but it was it was a good time. It was good. Last 10 minutes. Remind you of Death Troopers. Yeah, again, they're not Death Troopers. Like that almost looks like a bit of a Vader helmet.
It's
shape.
Like I said, I need to find that damn image from Twitter because somebody had screenshotted it.
This one?
No, like what they were, like to compare them because they were in either Rebels or Clone Wars. I'll have to try to find it.
Well, like this, have they been experimenting on these troopers? Is this what they've been injecting with the Force blood?
I don't think this has to do with the Force blood. No, I don't think this has anything to do with Force blood. No.
What did he say about the Force blood? Like, basically, just quickly, let's just wrap this bit up. This is where the episode ends with basically this scene. Excuse me, sorry guys. With this scene, and the episode basically ends. That's it. So, just in regards to the Force blood, I think that's a bit. I think I need to go back and actually just listen to what that hologram is actually saying again. Like, unless somebody can explain it to me, if you've got an understanding of what was said there. Anyway,
I think it's really funny that people thought that Ahsoka was going to be in this episode.
Oh,
we all knew it's not.
When it first happened, I thought that maybe it was, but then I started thinking about it. I'm like, nah, he's going to go get his ship repaired, and sorry, go on.
Go on. This episode was less filler than I thought it would be, though.
Yeah,
like they gave us some more plot elements about the overall plot of the show or of the season than they typically would have another. Throwaway filler episodes. So
go back to that scene and turn on subtitles, and we can see what he's saying.
Which one?
With that doctor?
With the doctor. Oh, with Dr. Pershing.
Yep.
Like General Pershing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He looks like a guy that you'd see like in a German nightclub in this scene. Welcome to Sprockets.
Welcome to the club. If you want to get in the VIP area, you must go to me.
Apologize to any Germans watching.
Why was it that bad?
No, it was that good. That's
okay. Now's the time on Sprockets when we dance.
Go back, hit the back 10-second thing. It's easier.
Yeah.
You can hit it multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here we go. Replicated the results of subsequent trials, which also resulted in catastrophic failure. So whatever they're doing isn't working.
Say stop using.
I don't want to.
Basically.
Yeah, I don't want to go too long.
Yep.
Again,
they basically said that stop what you're doing now. The experiments. We need more of the blood.
My last stream, if you weren't here earlier, my last stream got completely blocked worldwide, and there was like, out of like 2-hour stream, there was like an hour and 20 minutes that I could have snipped out because I got copyright claimed on all of it. No action taken, like not a strike, which is thank God.
No, I will give Disney credit for that. They are not strike happy, so.
There were promising effects for an entire fortnight. Ooh, fortnight, 2 weeks. But then, sadly, the body rejected the blood. So they're injecting blood or transfusing blood, whatever.
Yeah, they're basically trying to transfuse the Force.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Force transfusion.
Which is fucking ridiculous.
I mean, what's the next level? Can you do that with arms? Can you get an arm amputation and get some other Force user's old arm and then...
If that's what they're doing and they actually succeed in doing that, I'm out. Like, if that's what they're actually trying to do, and they actually make something work, and non-force sensitive can make himself force sensitive by injecting himself with Baby Yoda's blood, I am out. I'm out. Cobra Kai all the way. Cobra Kai
Cobra Kai
all the
never
way.
die.
It's
I'm
just
not out.
more. It's more derivative
out.
things. This is compound.
It's changing the
Compound
Force
V
so much.
from the boys.
We already knew they were doing that.
It's just overused. Like it's this formula that'll make our superpowers. It's the Captain America's, serum.
Super serum.
Yep.
Super
It's
soldier.
pretty overused. Disappointing that they're kind of going in that
pretty
route
much.
with it. But
Yeah, keep going. I highly doubt we'll find a donor with a higher M count. M count. Don't say the M word. I recommend that we suspend all experimentation.
Just say it.
yeah, that's really cowardly. Just to
I fear that the volunteer will meet the same regrettable fate. And that sentence continues in 3 seconds.
I will not let you down, Mom.
If we proceed with the transfusion. Unfortunately, we have exhausted our initial supply of blood. You better pause it.
Yeah.
The child is small, and I was only able...
to suck a small amount of dicks before I had to do something else.
clipped.
Yeah, no kidding.
to harvest a limited amount without killing him. And him must be...
The baby. The child.
To baby.
It's a baby. The dingo's gonna eat your baby.
He's from London.
If these experiments are to continue as requested...
I'll just wait a few more seconds.
We need more money. Or we need more blood.
I could have expanded on my previous joke with this line too. Just think about that.
Oh, okay, that's what I was thinking of.
We would again require access to the donor.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I was thinking of. Hold on, let me share this real quick.
Okay.
There you go.
He likes
That's what I was
chicken.
thinking of. Dark Forces, Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, Dark Troopers.
Oh, Dark
Shadow Trooper
Troopers.
Master.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. That's what
Yeah, I
they're
wasn't
bringing
even
those back
thinking-
into canon.
Yeah, I wasn't
Bring
even
those back
thinking
into
real
canon.
canon. I was
Yeah.
thinking like something new.
Okay.
I didn't notice.
But
it in
I'm
the
pretty sure
background.
they had something similar in the Clone Wars because I can't find the original tweet I saw earlier that had a screenshot from the fucking Clone Wars or Rebels that had something very similar. But this is what it is. It's definitely that Dark Forces like Dark Trooper, like Shadow Trooper mashup they did in Dark Forces
Phase
and Jedi
4.
Knight 2, Jedi Outcast. Yeah,
This is the one on the right.
yeah. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Cool. Bring cool stuff back into canon. Yeah.
I still disagree with the fact that they decide to make something non-canon and then they basically just steal from it, sort of thing. I'm not going to say adapt. I'm not going to say adapt it. I'm not going to say adapt it because they decided not to adapt it. That's the whole
EU
thing.
appropriation.
They actually keep stealing it.
That's expanding universe appropriation, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
We need to stop that.
European
Well, it's not like you even have to pay the authors.
Oh, I will not disappoint you
Just
again,
want
Moff
you again,
Gideon.
And I think that's it.
I will make you blow earlier than I did this time.
Yeah, that's it.
So they're they're
love that
He said
soy
transfusion. he used the word. What'd you say?
Voice. I loved your soy voice there.
Oh, was it good?
Yeah.
In the video last week too.
Yeah, it was.
I like when he's just mumbling like, "Oh, that character was so awful, man."
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so there are still a few issues there.
Oh god.
It definitely is a video game plot. It's a live action cartoon still.
A vid game.
Yeah.
It's like level complete, do this, complete that, fly halfway across the planet, get your ship, fly back, destroy some ships, fly away, level complete.
Yeah.
And then we see the teaser. It's like the post-credit scene where we get the Moff Gideon and his troopers, and
Yeah.
that's all we really get. I don't know. Overall, I enjoyed the episode. Like I said, it was a lot of fun later in the episode, and it was just a bit of filler and a bit of at the beginning. I on my review I said 8.5 to 9. I'm going to stick with the 8.5 out of 10. I think you guys would probably rate it lower than that, wouldn't you? I don't know.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah.
You didn't. You
I probably give 6.5 or a 7. I give maybe a 7.
Now that I've read enough of the expanded universe, like Legends expanded universe, I feel like I can now keep these things separate from each other. You know, so I'm watching this through the lens of like, okay, if you're going to really change it to be this crap, like, okay, that's how I've got to watch it.
Well, within the context of the show itself, you know, I would rank this a lot higher. Probably like a 7.5, maybe an 8, right? But within just everything I watch, everything ever, it's the same as last week. Probably like a 3. Because think about it, if Empire Strikes Back is my favorite Star Wars movie, and I think on IMDb I gave it like a 9 because, you know, 10 is perfect. Then if I give this a 7.5 within the context of the show itself, am I saying that I like this only 1.5 points less than Empire? Hell no.
That's a lot of points though, man.
Yeah, no.
What do you rate Empire, Rhino? Out of 10, what would you rate Empire Strikes Back?
Oh, I'm sorry, but I give that 10s out of 10. 10. Like it's a 10 for me.
I would give it a 9.5, but IMDb only allows you to do whole numbers. But yeah, it's a fantastic movie. And this is like, yeah, it's better than most of the other episodes, but it's nowhere near Empire at all. I would
give the first 2 episodes combined like a 3, maybe a 4. They were just really fucking bad. Especially the second episode of the season, chapter 10, was a waste of time. It was an absolute waste of time.
Yeah.
Like that's a waste of 30 minutes of my life. No reason for you can skip that episode completely too.
Yeah,
absolutely skip it.
How do you feel about the episode, Greg? What would you give it?
If I had to give it a number, I would say it's probably 5. It's still too cookie cutter for me. Still too video game plot like. Too many weird conveniences and kind of lazy plot progression for me to rank it any higher than that. It is better than the previous episodes. It's more fun to watch, particularly when you get into the chase scene
I didn't notice
with the speeder bikes and the TIE fighters. Like those moments, and then when he's fighting the TIE fighters in the Razor Crest, those are good moments. But they're just moments, not the entire episode as a whole. It does start off really, really slow. You have that really awful start with the Baby Yoda scene fixing and trying to hotwire or whatever the Razor Crest. Those are all problems for me that I can't give it anything higher than a 5.
Okay.
Probably a letter grade, maybe a C, but you know, like I wouldn't consider it good. It's passable.
Interesting. I you've rated it quite low, lower than what I thought you would. Because again, from when we talked about it, you kind of, you know, I think we both said like later on in this episode, it was actually a bit of fun. It actually, like again, the music wasn't all that bad later on. I think I noticed it a little bit earlier on in this episode.
I need to go back and see them. Hear the music
too much.
The thing is going back through it again to do the video. Like I noticed a lot more things and a lot more like once you get past that surface level test, what's underneath is a bad foundation, and that's what kind of sinks it for me.
And we're moving into a bad future.
Well, not even that. Just this episode standalone wise, it's again formulaic with the side mission stuff, ignoring he's leaving Baby Yoda alone again. The things in like approaching that one base and why they even have to go there in the first place, or why the base is even there in the first place. Like I don't think they did a very good job of explaining that, and like no door security. They're able to kind of walk through the base, despite the fact that Moff Gideon knows they're there because, again, they have the mechanic on the inside that can relay that information to him. So, like, if Moff Gideon values this base at all, like, he would have then sent them a heads up of, like, look, they're leaving town. They're probably heading... the mechanic guy would be like, look, they're leaving town, probably heading towards your base. Give them the heads up, So at least they're aware they're about to have intruders. Maybe Mandalorian and crew still manages to win the day, but the fact that they caught them completely off guard didn't work for me. Like, I especially later when you know that they have a mole on the inside that could have relayed all this information.
Mm-hmm.
And the suspension of time and distance again, which is something that's kind of plaguing Disney Star Wars.
Greg, who broke your soul? The hot wiring scene. What's FFS?
For fuck's sake.
But yeah, okay.
The idea that you would send a toddler who you can barely communicate basic commands to try and go rewire something.
I love when Greg breaks stuff down like this. It's hilarious.
No point. It was a pointless fucking scene.
I don't think anyone on the panel liked that scene. I didn't. So
no, absolutely not. It was a waste of time.
I mean, if you have a toddler,
it made no sense.
It's like I said, they could have.
Idiot.
It's like I said, they could have just started the episode with him landing on the planet, and we could have filled in the blanks in our own fucking heads. You don't need to necessarily.
It's unnecessary.
You don't need to necessarily show us everything. Yeah. It's like Solo, the movie Solo. We didn't need to see any of that. We didn't necessarily need to see the castle run. We didn't need to see everything. We could have allowed our imaginations to just have it the way it was and the way that we thought
run with
that
the
it
monster.
Was.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like you don't have to show everything. You just don't.
Just as a comparison, imagine yourself. You have a toddler in your house, say 2-3 years old, right? Hell, we'll say 4 years old. We'll give it the biggest benefit of the doubt because a 4-year-old can at least talk. Pop the hood on your car and talk them through changing your oil. See how that works.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
Right? It's.
Oh shit! My kid has no hands now. He cut his hands off.
And if you actually read it to them, how it says it says splash. It says splash oil over engine.
Yeah, it's like
the peanut butter example. Like,
it's like, honey, the kid will fit in the air duct here. I'm gonna throw him in there and try and talk him through this. Patching deal here because we got a leak in
He can fucking do it.
AC,
He's a kid. He's fine.
I mean,
like,
it's fine.
Did you picture a dad like shoving a toddler into a vent?
Get in there. Fix it.
In there and
Kid's
fix
like
it.
fucking screaming and dad's just pushing on the diaper like, get in there, you little bitch.
Yeah.
You can fix it,
Daddy
can't you?
says.
get her down.
And the fact that he like electrocutes himself but like suffers like no damage.
Oh, it was all for
John,
comedy.
hold on.
That's all it was.
Okay, so Jonathan, you liked that scene, but you didn't like the classroom scene.
Oh, see, I see the classroom scene was much more. I mean, it was stupid, but
it was
at least plausible.
I could suspend my disbelief a little bit more for that one, but is Din Djarin that stupid that he would let a child that can barely understand what he's saying?
The school scene's there just so they can leave the baby there with somebody without actually having to give him to anyone.
And he's playing with like live electric wires. Like, shut the power off at the very least.
It just doesn't make any sense. Like,
if you're going to do electrical work on your
turn the ship off.
Yeah,
don't have the electricity running through the wires.
You flip the circuit breaker, right? Just as a basic precautionary measure, so you don't fucking fry yourself.
Don't touch them together. You'll kill yourself.
Sorry, I'm getting really sleepy.
Yeah, that's true. He wouldn't. There's a lot of stuff in this show that makes no sense.
Yeah, and it's part of the problem. Like the Baby Yoda scene, like I said, like in the pilot thing when he's flying around and the kid's like wee because he's doing loop-de-loops and barrel rolls and shit. Like
he's a kid.
He's a kid. The kid's gonna be like wee, and then the fact that he spits up. It's like, I don't know. You ever play with a kid where you play with them a little, give them airplanes and shit like that right after they eat, and you find out that that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to hear inside the child's head when Din Djarin's like, okay, and he's like, I don't know what I'm doing, you fucking idiot. Come here and do it yourself. What do you think I don't know how to do?
That might be actually like a fun thing to do. You could never do it on YouTube, but do like a Look Who's Talking version of the Mandalorian.
With the child, yeah, absolutely.
With the child's dialogue.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Yes, that's a made-up
That would actually be kind of fun
yes.
to write and do. But like I said, you could never air it on YouTube. They take it down.
Yeah, you could. You just couldn't monetize it. Yeah.
Oh, I think they would claim that some bitch. Like,
Can I just point out? Sorry, I just want to say, Pedro Pascal is still not the star of his own show.
No, he's not. No.
Four episodes into this second season, third season. Okay, I'm getting
at least
tired.
in this one, he got a hero moment though, and he was like, he was aggressive and took. He had agency. He did stuff in this episode, even in the fighting scenes in the hallway and everything. Like, he was, blasting away and doing stuff. He wasn't just along for the ride. He was like almost the point on the mission. So at least it's better than the previous episode, because in the previous episode he was just literally going along. Like, oh, where are we going? Okay, I guess I'll go with you. This one, he was the point guy. He's like, once they told him what the thing was, he was running the mission.
Yeah.
So, like, it's better. It's an improvement over episode 3 in that regard. And that's why I would say that this episode is a lot better than the previous episode. And the action sequences were much more fun in this episode. And, a lot less bullshit foo.
I just wanted more character moments. But hey, Rhino, could we play a game? Could you click on that tweet that I put in the private chat? And I want you guys to guess which episode is which. And you're going to have to think about it.
I know which one. I know which one it is.
You're going to have to think about it. I mean, it's you can figure it out, but it's not like you look at it and go, oh, I know the answer. Because I went back and looked, and I'm like, wait, which is which here? So...
Oh, yeah, okay, hold on. Let me...
Star Wars, all the hallways look the same.
I don't know. I went back before I did that to make sure I wouldn't look like an idiot, and a lot of them didn't. Like, they actually...
They're just using the same sets, though. That's why.
Yeah.
So where are they...
Which is which?
Where are these two scenes from?
The last 2 episodes. One from each.
Oh.
Yeah, the bottom one is that transporter ship that they sabotaged.
No, the bottom one is from today.
No way, really?
Yeah. Wait, I think. Hang on.
No.
I forgot already. I forgot.
Yeah, the top one's from today.
Okay.
No,
I think you're right. Yeah.
I
think you're right.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's fine. It's totally fine.
It's both Imperial. They're both Imperial.
Yeah, but...
I'm okay with that.
But ship design and base design have never been the same. I went like...
No, but they're just using the same set because it's...
Exactly.
That's the only reason.
Yep. Yeah, because, like, if you look in the bunker scenes...
I can understand that
were deleted, like, the inside of the bunker, like on Endor, looks nothing like a ship.
No.
So, and this is basically a bunker built in the side of a... But yeah, they're trying to save money. Totally fine, but it's just so... obvious, what they're doing here. They changed the lighting, like those strips of light you see and stuff like that, but
they had to do it because of the fucking pandemic, most likely.
Yep.
Well, anyway. the one thing that I did notice, which I didn't notice in any other episode, was that it felt like there was, in a few scenes, a screen there. The set it almost looked like the set was really small. Just to me, there was a couple of scenes, and I couldn't really pinpoint one right now for you, but there was that one where they were up on the launching pad or whatever after Mando flies up there and lets them up in the lift. And yeah, the background seems like it's just like a painted on background, and this set looks really small. That's just how it sort of felt to me in some of the scenes. And for $100 million a season, I kind of expect I kind of expect it to maybe look a little bit better than what a couple of these scenes look like. But yeah.
Your budget is $1 million. You can't make anything out of that. Yeah, some guy at work came to me saying, "Hey, I have this project," and they gave me $1 million, and I laughed because what he wanted is like $50 million. So, you got to work with what you have. I'm a guy. Shit, I enjoy watching old Doctor Who and shit like that. That literally has like stuff made out of styrofoam. But it's a different context. You know, we know what their budget is here, and a lot of it probably goes into paying performers. So
Yeah, I don't.
Voice actors.
I think the visuals overall in the show are pretty good. I would say for TV, very good. So I don't really have any complaints about that. Yeah, sometimes I mean, but if you go back and like even watch like the prequel movies, like you know, there's some shit that really stands out there too, and it's just, I'm concerned about less than that than about things like that than you know the plot itself.
yeah. Did you show that one shot, Rhino? I don't think we did. The one you were going to start out with?
No, I did at the very beginning.
You did?
One with the watch, yeah.
Okay, that's right. Okay. At the watch.
Now, at the beginning of the stream, I did mention that there was a couple of things that came up this week within Star Wars, and this was actually one of them. Thank you for reminding me, Lord Vader, because I was actually about
Alan
to start
Dean
wrapping
Foster.
up. And I do just want to bring this up, especially since I have been getting a lot more into the expanded universe and the novels and the brilliance that is the expanded universe. I feel like this is... It's another thing for me that goes, okay, Disney, you really are fucking dogs. You really are, you know, pushing your weight around. You know what I mean? Like, for them not even to be getting back to his legal team or nothing, they're just expecting him to be able to go, well, this is just going to cost me too much. It's going to cost me more than I'm going to get back in my royalties just to fight this thing. I may as well just give up. It's disgusting. Disney, get your fucking shit together and fucking pay your royalties that are owed to these people that have created these fucking things.
And let's
fucking
be honest,
do it.
These royalties are not substantial amounts of money.
No, I mean, but they are to the people.
They matter to the... Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That makes it less okay for Disney to be doing this, because really drop in the bucket shit for these authors, because I mean, these authors didn't get paid that much to begin with. The royalties aren't that substantial, nor are the actual sales of these older books. They're still selling, yes, and this author does deserve them, absolutely. The idea that Disney would choose to go this route rather than pay such a minuscule amount of money to some of these authors is beyond the pale. I mean, this is a company that in June pledged $5 million to BLM.
Yeah. And here's the thing. So
$5 million can more than pay the royalties of every single author for the books in the last 10 years.
Yeah, we say people, you know, I haven't heard of any other authors, and my guess is because he was the first Star Wars author, perhaps his deal is completely different than everyone that came after that. Like, maybe even Zahn isn't getting royalties. Maybe all these other expanded universe, but he was the first... He wrote the novelization. Paying Zahn
royalties, even though he's writing new books for them.
I don't know if his deal includes, you know, something like that. Who knows?
I'm sure. I would assume it does. I hope it would.
But here's the deal: he was the first Star Wars author, and
he wrote the Star Wars book for
the original argument. Yeah, he did the novelization.
Yeah, novelization.
And Splinter in the Mind's Eye, and then he wrote, I think, the Approaching Storm, an EU book. But here's the deal: their legal argument here. And what they're doing is, like, when he reaches out to publishing, they just forward him to legal, which is a dick move to begin with. It's happened to me before. But point is, like, their legal argument here isn't even dubious. It's completely wrong. Like, when you acquire a company, unless the new contract explicitly states that you're not going to also acquire the liabilities, that means Lucasfilm, like Lucas, owes him money. Like, because someone has the liability to pay his ass.
You're right. And the example that I want to give...
for not doing it. That's all I have to say.
The example that I want to give... The example that I want to give is, okay, so let's say I'm a production company, right? And I've bought this IP off somebody. And I'm making it. Now I employ people to start writing stuff. Sorry, no, let's keep it that way. I start employing people to make stuff. Now I decide now I've got these contracts set up with all of these people to pay them, and then I sell it. but instead of just selling it to like a just another company, I sell it to my sister's company, right? To avoid having to pay them royalties.
No,
so
but
hang on, but I'll set up another company. So that's basically Disney's argument with this whole thing.
I guess.
Yeah, and I
Right,
don't think it's
I'm saying
hold.
I don't think so either.
It's a crap
But see-
argument because when you acquire a company, you acquire their liabilities as well. Just like
Unless
Disney
unless
can't
it's
go,
written that you don't. But
Unless
that
in
means
the-
someone owes him. Is my point. Someone owes him.
But they
Who
also asked him
isn't.
to. They also asked him to sign an NDA before they even signed a contract.
Well, he said that
very-
wasn't normal, and that is normal. I mean,
I
It
don't
was
know
very
how that
smart
worked.
not to, because then they could have turned around and screwed him, and then he'd be stuck under the NDA without being able to go.
I wouldn't
back
sign it. Yeah,
Yeah,
but it
I
is.
would
It's
never
not.
deal.
It's not. Abnormal for someone to want you to sign one of those before you talk to them. But point is, he shouldn't have to talk to them because someone owes him money. Did George Lucas retain liabilities? I completely doubt it.
Well, does
So-
Disney
Why
now
would he
own
retain the
does-
liabilities and then not get the revenue from the publishing?
Well, does
That'd be
Disney
insanely stupid.
now own Alien?
Yeah, because
What'd
he
you-
wrote
what'd you say?
Alien.
Which he wrote Alien. So then,
and Alien 3.
so all of his royalties that he was getting from any of these books that he wrote, because now Disney own it, he's going to get nothing.
That's what he's saying.
Yes.
It's
I don't think
ridiculous.
Disney's
That's
come out
ridiculous.
and made a press statement saying, no, we're not paying him, with the Disney letterhead on it. But that's what he's accusing, and it is absolutely wrong. Like, if you acquire a company, and unless the original company holder agrees to hold the liabilities, which why would they in this particular case without the revenue to go behind it? Like, if Lucas says, hey, I retain the EU and therefore all the rights to the EU and also then the liabilities, yeah, then Lucas would owe him the money, but then Lucas would also be getting paid for the books that are selling. So
Yeah,
he would get
duh.
some of that. He would, this isn't just an ongoing forever contract. These are based on actual sales. But Hollywood has a history, a proven history of doing everything it can to screw their creators, the creatives, out of their royalties. That's
Yeah.
why you never take points on profit, you take points on gross.
Yes.
Because when
what
you get
happened to
down to
Prowse.
it, they'll say every movie lost money.
Yeah, that's what happened
They
to
won't say
David
it to the
Prowse.
press, but they'll say it in court, saying, I'm sorry, Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings actually lost money, so we can't pay you anything because we didn't make any money. And we all know that that's horseshit. Like, I mean, he went through that with New Line, right? I mean, they had to settle that whole thing before he came on board to do the Hobbit trilogy.
Yeah.
But he had to fight to do that because the studios can manipulate the profit dollars on any movie however they choose to hide or distort the profit for that particular movie or shift it to something else to rob the people that are owed royalties based on the overall profits, the points on the back end. And that's why, if you're an author, if you're a writer, but the thing is they get these people to do it, and they're just going, "Oh my God, I got to deal with Disney, or I got to deal with Lucasfilm," and they're not realizing what they're getting into. They're just thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna this is my big moment. This is my big opportunity to get my name
Yep.
out there and make it big." And they sign really dumb deals.
Yeah, and there are two things we've noticed about all these authors, like especially in the books that they've hired. They're inexperienced, and they have a certain, I guess, political persuasion. All of them, right? Mm-hmm. So, so we wind up with stuff like the High Republic that is just full of a bunch of garbage. I mean,
Yeah.
and comics. The comics are,
And
some
the
people say, "Oh, this
aftermath
series was good," and that's all the stuff I've seen. Just seems, I don't know, just in the art's bad because they're just hiring people that, that fit that narrative.
They're hiring cheap. They're hiring quote unquote
Identity
independent
politics.
contractors, and they're paying them jack shit.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I just wanted to quickly give my two cents out there on that subject. I think it's disgusting what Disney's doing. Like I said, they're just pushing their weight around, and it's really disgusting when,
Yeah.
it's a drop in the ocean for them, for them to pay this guy what he's owed.
And I would encourage
Right.
everyone in the chat, just like shame Disney on social media, because it is disgusting is the perfect word for it. There's no legal argument out there. Sorry, Greg.
I would caution, like, typically, like, when I hear somebody make an argument about a company being, quote unquote, being able to afford to pay something, like, my political nature makes me immediately cringe away from that argument. But we're talking about royalties based on actual sales. Mm-hmm. They're owed. Like, they can afford to pay them, not because Disney's a big company, but because they sold the books.
Exactly.
So if you sold a book for $10,
You got the money.
The contract says that he gets $1 of it. You made 10. Give him the $1. That's the contract.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with all of any other Disney's assets and how much money they make on everything else. It's just
And it doesn't matter if they
based
sold
on the
it.
sales of the product.
Contract still stands, even if they sold the business. The liabilities and everything come with the business. Everything. Anyway, I just wanted to move on from that because I just do want to talk about one other thing, and that is the amount of respect that I've now lost for Mark Hamill.
Oh.
Yeah.
His comments throughout the week to what's his name, Taylor,
James Arnold Taylor.
James Arnold Taylor. I appreciated the video that he actually made. I hate the fact that he bent the knee and he took himself off Parler. I think the whole
Just
Cavs
look at him. He's
culture,
not a
the whole
stand-up and fight kind of guy. I mean,
No, I
he's a
understand
go-with-the-flow
that.
guy.
No, he's
I
not.
understand that. But it's still, it just pisses me off seeing somebody like Mark Hamill. You know, it wasn't like vicious or anything in what he was
It was
saying. and he
patronizing, is what it was.
That's
Very.
yeah, that's very.
Yeah, I know you're not like this.
Just so you
Parlor's
know,
really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, shut up, Mark.
Parlor is evil.
Go suck some blue soy milk.
It really annoys me. Like, you know, the week before we had Pedro Pascal coming out and calling what you could almost say 50% of Star Wars fans Nazis, as well as 50% of Americans Nazis.
I'd probably say higher than 50%, but
and possibly possibly higher than 50% of the world, because I'm sure there's a lot of the world that have been paying attention and sort of barracking for their specific sides.
Fact checking sources say this is false. You just got fact checked, Greg.
Fact check.
But it's just it's.
to do it publicly,
I don't even know what to say.
If
I
you
hate Mark
really
Hamill
believe,
now.
and you believe Parlor's
hate
evil,
him.
if you truly believe Parlor's evil and the haven for racism and all these terrible ists and phobisms and all that other stuff, talk to the dude privately and say, hey, look, I see that you're on Parlor. Here's some information I want to give you about Parlor. You make your own decision. But he called him out publicly on it. And it's like, beyond just the position that he has, the way he did it was also a fucking douche move. Basically, he put this guy, James, in a position where he was being called out by Mark Hamill and his immense reach on social media to do something rather than like just like, hey, like if I felt any one of you guys were going down some weird road and like you want to join some weird cult religion or whatever, like I wouldn't blast you on social media, be like at raging Rhino raging, you dumb fuck, why are you joining the cult of Mandalore?
Yeah, you'd be more
That's a nasty,
more
horrible cult. You shouldn't join that. Me and you would have a conversation privately about that, right?
Yeah.
Because that's just what decent human beings do. If they actually really do care about whether somebody's going down a road that they shouldn't be going.
Yeah, he just wanted
You
a
don't
virtue
blast
signal.
them publicly for the whole
Great.
world to see and call them out on it.
It's a great example there, Lethal. It's like saying, okay, Pedro Pascal, because you use Instagram, you're a Nazi. And that makes everybody else who uses Instagram a Nazi.
So,
I
take this
agree with
idea.
that sentiment, actually. Instagram is for Nazis.
Instagram is owned by
Kidding.
Facebook, right?
Yes.
I don't
Facebook
know.
is in San Francisco, the Valley, whatever. That is in the United States. That's on Earth. Nazis have been on Earth. Instagram is for Nazis. There's the logic right there.
There's the logical steps.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Like,
Or
I feel like
illogical.
I feel like we need to watch Monty Python. The is it a witch scene?
Yeah. No kidding. Yeah, no
It's a
kidding.
witch.
I don't know. It's yeah.
It's just
that's a good comment there.
douchey like
Well,
behavior. Again, like I don't know if the two know each other, but like if you share this common IP that you're both involved with heavily, like have a little bit of try and keep that stuff behind the curtain. Like that's
And I
not
agree
for all
with
the
that.
world to see.
I agree with that because by saying what he said about, oh, be careful of Parler and everything, oh, you've made a Parler account, it's almost like Mark Hamill's pointing it out. Now, all the people that are on the woke side that see, oh, Mark Hamill's pointing it out, all right, I'm going to go after him. The ones that might have sat back and maybe decided to sit this one out because Mark Hamill came out and said
Or
that the
otherwise
way
not
he
even cared.
or otherwise not even cared because Mark Hamill came out and said it the way he said it. It was like, mate, this is so. I hate it now. I hate this whole culture thing, this whole culture war that's going on, and this whole. It makes me feel disgusting. Makes me feel like I want to have a shower every time I hear this fucking some soy boy Mark Hamill comment coming out and fucking, whatever it is.
Yeah, and
Politics
basically, like,
isn't everything, people. Politics
Even if-
isn't fucking everything.
even if Mark Hamill turns out to be 100% true about Parler, which it's not. I'm on Parler, and I don't consider myself a Nazi. But even if he's
Exactly.
100% accurate, Mark Hamill's still a bad human being
Yeah.
for how he did it.
Yes, exactly right. Even if he is on the right side of history, oh
You're still in the wrong. You're still Mark Hamill. You're a bad person.
Yeah.
Sorry. You're based on your actions. I judge you to be a bad person.
The thing is these people don't even think about what they're doing. Like, they don't go, oh, imagine if he was saying this to me. Imagine if I was being attacked on social media and people were saying things that were completely untrue, and that's why he made the video that he made. This is James Taylor, right? It really annoys me. It just annoys me how Mark Hamill and all these Hollywood elite people are just... They think they're on the right side of history. Man, there is no right side and wrong side. Make history what you want it fucking to be and stop fucking pushing your identity politics, pushing your ways on everybody. And if anyone disagrees with them in any way, shape, or form, it means you're a fucking Nazi. How ridiculous is that? You're a fascist. I don't want to talk to you. Why? Because you're far right. Why? Because you're okay. That makes you a fascist. That makes you a racist. What the fuck are you talking about, people?
Yeah.
Because
Get over
they
it.
believe it, though. They believe it, and because they believe it, they think all bets are off. Like, all measures of human decency and codes of conduct and behavior are exempt because if the person is a Nazi, like, you can literally do anything to them.
Yeah, you've dehumanized them.
You have there's no level you can go to
Mitchell.
that isn't justified.
Yeah.
And you know, that's ultimately what's the sickest
And it's happened
part of
throughout
social
history,
media.
too.
Yeah. Yeah, he's an asshole.
Yeah. He is an asshole.
Very
All right,
disappointing.
guys.
Like, I knew
I
his
think-
politics ahead of time, but damn.
I'm sorry, I'm dying in this chair. I got up really early this morning and worked all day. And it's now 2:30 in the morning. I'm sorry, we're going to wrap it up here, guys. Well, I'm going to go around the table first. So thank you all for coming. Jeff, please let everyone know where they can find you.
You can find me on YouTube at the Geek Blend, and I did drop my Mandalorian review earlier, so you guys want to go check that out. Yep, and I got some other videos coming up today as well, and then of course we have the Raging Geek Jedi show tomorrow night, so definitely join us for there. But yeah, you want to check out some stuff. I got some stuff coming up today you guys might want to check out for sure. And just go subscribe to me and watch my content. Hope you guys enjoy it. So
Please
I'm also
do.
on Twitter
Everyone-
at the Geek Blend as well too, if you want to follow me there.
Yes. Awesome. Go and subscribe to Jeff over at the Geek Blend. We're also got of course, the Raging Geek Jedi show every Saturday night or Sunday afternoon if you're in Australia. Tim, thank you for coming by as per usual.
Yes.
Open airlock policy. Let everyone know where they can find you and what you've got coming up, if anything.
Yeah, there's the link. And I keep saying this, but I'm going to come out with a series of videos that should be really cool to watch, like Star Wars history and nature. I just need to find the time to sit down and do it. I only did my Mandalorian review last week. I didn't do any news, even though there was some stuff out there. I just ran out of time. So I'm going to try to, get back to that. And I'm off work today, so I'll try to finish my videos sooner than I normally do. But yeah, there's my link out there, and lots of Star Wars stuff. Sometimes I talk about other stuff. So yeah, check it out.
So yes, please go and subscribe to Tim over at the Open Airlock Policy. He's gonna suck some of these fucking woke crap, fucking elite fucking dumb cunts out of the airlock.
There you go.
And Tuscan Bob, Greg, thank you for coming by. Thank you for making it despite your technical difficulties. Let everyone know where they can find you and what you've got coming up. And we are going to watch your review, Tuscan Bob, at the end of this.
Yep, you can find me on Parler at Lost Jedi 22.
Hey.
You can follow my channel on Rumbler, which is, if you're not familiar with that, it is what Parler is to Twitter, Rumble is to YouTube. So I'm going to start posting my videos there for a few days before uploading them to YouTube.
Cool.
I'll put a link in the chat for
Yeah, please.
That's for that.
Yeah,
So
it's like exclusive.
if you haven't
Go
checked
over and
out
check it
the site, it's working pretty good. It's an alternative. I'm by no means quitting YouTube or anything like that. It's just
go and subscribe to his
I want to
YouTube
start putting
channel.
my money where my mouth is. Like, you want these alternatives and you're sick of it. And one of the things with YouTube is the fact that they're monetizing unmonetized, they're monetizing content on non-partner channels now, according to their new terms of service. And,
Right.
That's kind of what Disney's doing to Dale and Dean Foster. It's kind of a scummy move in my book. So
Yeah.
I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm finding alternatives. I'll probably also start on Odyssey as well.
What's that?
Cool.
Odyssey's another. It's a platform based on blockchain.
Okay.
Blockchain.
Nice.
Let's get
So
ready to
I've
rumble.
really started looking into those things and alternatives. Again, not that I'm leaving either Twitter or YouTube. It's just an alternative. And then yeah.
Cool.
So my last episode, the one we're about to see of Tuscan Bob, is on my Rumbler.
Awesome.
Page.
Go and check that out. Thank you all again for being here. Before we go into this, let me just say goodbye to a few people here we've got in the chat that I can still see. We've got Blake. We've got Alex. Thank you all for coming by. We've got all of the people on the panel here. We've got Jonathan, Rayra and VR, Lord Vader, of course. Thank you all. Lethal Lightning, Will, Mara, everyone that came past in the chat, thank you. And please smash the like button on your way out if you haven't. If you enjoyed, of course. If you didn't enjoy, feel free to smash the dislike button. I don't really fucking care.
Still helps in the algorithm. It don't matter.
Yeah. So thank you all for coming by. And
Real quickly, I will say this:
go on.
it looks like tentatively the title for next week's Mandalorian is the Jedi.
oh, of course it is.
Even though
But she
she's not a
doesn't
Jedi.
care. Even though she's not a Jedi,
Should be the quitter,
She'll
the resigner.
she'll be the babysitter. She'll be the new
gray.
babysitter.
Yes, hit all the buttons. That's right, Blake.
Yeah. All right. We'll go full screen again for this one. Are you all ready for Tuscan Bob's review of this episode of The Mandalorian? Here we go. Exclusive premiere.
Yes.
Hit it. Up the voltage.
Random.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I better not.
That's what I said.
Uh,
Chekhov's gun. Yep. A miracle worker, laddie.
yeah.
Spider pool.
Yeah.
The end. Perfect. Well, thanks everyone. Don't forget to go over to Lost Journo's Rumble account and channel and give this a like and give it a watch. Thanks
Give it a
everyone.
rumble.
We'll see you next time.